nation movement World Cup like that. Sorry. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
They say a butterfly flapping its wings in Accra can cause a tsunami in Bangkok. So what if your factory in Nsawam could shake up the stock market in Hong Kong? What if your business in Elmina could affect fish production in Norway? What if your refinery in Tema could affect the price of petrol in Moscow? Well, now it can because you have access. Access to the bank with the largest number of customers in Africa. Access to our global branch network.
Bonjour. Good morning.
Our robust asset base and an unparalleled digital infrastructure. So go ahead and flap your wings wherever you are, because with us, you have access to an entire world of possibilities. Access more than banking.
No matter your water needs, Syntex has it all. Syntex tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Syntex tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project, or demand, choose Syntex tank. Syntex tank, stress-free. Syntex tank, reliable. Syntex tank, maximum guarantee. Call 0244 335 168, Kumasi 0505 555 666, or visit syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough.
Hello, Auntie Araba. Hey, Bugger, how are you doing today? I want to buy Pepsodent cavity fighter, but I don't have enough money. So what are you going to do? Can you give me the big size? You know, as for me, I'll pay the balance later. Today, no credit. I haven't sold much this morning. If you don't have enough money for the big size, why don't you try the 120-gram pack? There's a 120-gram pack? Introducing the new Pepsodent cavity fighter in 120-gram pack size. More affordable and convenient. Get yours today from any supermarket near you. Every smile matters. This advert is FDA approved.
Do you know what that is? It's the sound of me looking into my Nido 23 grams promo sachet for a code so I can win in the Nido Opatampamo promo.
Become one of the 3 lucky winners of a fully paid family getaway in Nido's Opatampamo promo. Look inside your Nido 23 grams promo sachet for a code. Dial *380*11# and follow the prompts for a chance to win big. This advert is FDA approved.
Let's go planting.
Year in and year out, you've stood with the government for the best cause. Once again, the government of Ghana is calling on you to help Green Ghana under the theme Growing for a Greener Tomorrow. Participate in the planting of 10 million tree seedlings nationwide on 7th June and let's green Ghana for the next generation. The Forestry Commission will make free seedlings available at vantage points nationwide. Green Ghana, let's go planting. This campaign is proudly brought to you by the Government of Ghana under the auspices of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Forestry Commission, Ghana Forest Investment Program, National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program for Illegal Mining, Minerals Commission Ghana, and Forest Plantation Development Fund Board.
Let's go planting.
Hello? Yo, bro! SG Ghana has done it again. Low interest rates on loans this year too. Yatisubium.
Charlie, I did throw inside. Let me call you back.
Call SG Ghana rather. Collect loan and buy car, my guy. Low, very low interest rates on loans this year too. It's difficult to keep good news to yourself, especially when it can transform your life and those close to you. SG Ghana went low on interest rates last year, and this year we are even lower. Yes, Yatisubium. Get the money you need to turn your dreams into a reality. Visit any SG Ghana branch near you and speak to our dedicated staff about the amazing Yatisubium loans today. You can also call 0302-214-314 for more details.
Oh, Joe, it's 3 a.m. What now?
Yatisubium. Okay, bye. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
Bafu.
Morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Something weird is happening with my voice.
Oh.
I say on and off, Bisa. You see that when you're talking to someone and they don't have good signal. My voice doesn't have good signal.
Maybe some hot tea or coffee.
I'll have to see about something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Figure it out. How are you though?
I'm good.
So Bank of Ghana say waiting.
Well, the 10 billion CD loss that you're talking about.
Yes.
Well, you're going to get explanations to it.
Okay.
Yeah, because they had to invest in mopping up excess liquidity, they say.
Right.
And so that sort of hit their accounts a bit. So
okay.
You hear all of that.
I also remember the measures they said they would outline when they lost 60.8 billion in 2022.
Which includes
retention of profits to help rebuild capital until equity firmly returns to positive region. Refraining from monetary financing of the government of Ghana's budget. In this respect, action had already been taken at the time. They signed some memorandum of understanding on the 26th of April 2023 that they will do zero financing on the budget. Bank of Ghana and Ministry of Finance signed that one. Taking immediate steps to optimize the Bank of Ghana's investment portfolio and operating a cost mix to bolster efficiency and profits, and then finally assessing the potential need for recapitalization support by the government. That one there sounded like one that would not happen. So, yeah, I'm asking myself, these measures didn't work.
I believe it's work in progress and it will take time. So, I mean, don't expect a drastic, where it turns them to a profit situation. But then, But the losses this year, they say, is for a different reason from the losses last year. Of course.
Last year it was domestic debt exchange. This year is what? Recapitalization, what?
Well, they had to work on the issues to do with inflation, and so the investments they made into mopping up excess liquidity, and that's the explanation we are receiving.
So is it fair to simply say that we didn't manage the economy well? That's why we are losing money at Bank of Ghana. I mean, is it fair to say that?
I wouldn't say so.
No? Inflation? Yeah, I mean, inflation. Now, who caused some?
Oh, on the side of the government, you mean? Or not the Bank of Ghana? Yeah. Well, they had to fix the situation, obviously. I mean, there were issues with the economy, so yeah.
So it's fair.
It's fair.
Okay.
Needless to say.
Yeah, well, it's one of the things we'll be talking about today. Anyway, did your favorite win at TGMAs? Who was your favorite? Who were you backing to win?
I don't have a favorite actually. But
I thought also for you, say maybe Nasi or somebody like that. No,
but it went to Stoneboy. I didn't catch it, but
boy himself. Yeah, we'll talk about it today, though. I mean, the organization of the thing itself seemed a bit shaky.
I read some commentary that said it looked as if it was an SHS award ceremony.
Oh, Charlie, that's some way past.
That's a harsh review, but
but the fashion too was intense.
Oh,
hey,
did you see Nathaniel?
Yes. There is a sofa somewhere feeling very naked this morning. Because Nathaniel's suit had to be made. Anyway, we'll get into it. Only I can tease him like that. The rest of you, stay away. The 6 a.m. news was brought to us by Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you. It's time now for the Joy Business Report, and that comes thanks to Omni Basic Bank at your service.
Brand new week. Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, Bank of Ghana shows it is in a strong position to conduct operations despite more than 10 billion cedi loss recorded last year. Also, government nears deal with Eurobond holders on debt restructuring after review of old terms rejected by the IMF. Plus, the African Development Bank revises growth rate for Ghana for this year to 3.4%, higher than earlier projected. Details coming up. Thanks for being with us, everyone. My name is Darryl Kwao. Hello to our friends listening from Kofu Radio on KTU Radio. Now, the Bank of Ghana has assured that it is in a strong financial position to conduct its operations. This is despite the 10.5 billion cedi loss recorded last year. George Affe has more from the 2023 annual accounts in this report.
There have been serious concerns about the Bank of Ghana and its ability to conduct its operations after the 60.8 billion cedi loss posted in 2022 and now the 10.5 billion cedis in 2023. But the Bank of Ghana in its annual report noted that it is in a position to generate enough income to cover all the stated costs when it comes to conducting its monetary policy operations. The central bank, for instance, identifies improvement in income earned from operations as another significant development that should give some market assurance. It also maintained that it will continue to carry out operations in a way going forward that would fast-track the expected turnaround. The central bank also announced in its financial statement that it is working to reduce exposure to government when it comes to financing and other measures, which it believes will improve its position going forward.
Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana is attributing the loss recorded for last year to the amount of money spent to check inflation by mopping up excess liquidity on the market. The central bank spent more than 8 billion cedis through its open market operations in 2023 by issuing bonds for these commercial banks. Now, persons close to the bank had argued that if inflation was not that high, they could have ended the year with a better financial position. Now, the central bank must be firm in the implementation of its monetary policy decisions to help achieve price stability. That's the view of financial analyst and lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa. He's of the view that the central bank has so far undertaken prudent steps to achieve its inflation target, but must be firm not to allow government's decision to derail its gains.
If you look at what has happened, you can say that it's more of the fiscal dominance that has taken control of our monetary policy, and that is what has thrown our monetary policy out of order. If you look at what BOG has done so far, if we had managed our fiscal side, then that would have supported the success stories we've had from the monetary side, which is how to control the money in the system. But we are not being able to do that because fiscal dominance has been so strong that has pulled Bank of Ghana to find it difficult to bring some sort of stability as far as the monetary aspect of the economy is concerned.
You heard financial analyst and lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa. Some commercial banks have announced their intention to start charging depositors for keeping foreign currency accounts with them from next month. First National Bank is one of such financial institutions going that way. Here's more in this report.
First National Bank, in a notice to their customers last week, announced a charge on foreign currency accounts. According to the bank, it will charge 5% on average balance capped at $100, Euro, and British Pound. It is not clear why the bank is doing this, but some industry watchers are linking this to the new Bank of Ghana directive of cash reserve ratio that makes it a little expensive for these commercial banks to hold dollars. Another bank went on that route recently, later came back quickly to abolish it.
On the currency market this morning, the dollar going for 14 cedis 99 pesos, the British pound 19 cedis 3 pesos, the euro going for 16 cedis 23 pesos. Government is now close to reaching a deal with Eurobond holders on debt restructuring after it made significant progress on the new terms for settling the $13 billion owed creditors. It's coming after the IMF rejected preview terms because it was not in line with the fund program to bring debts to sustainable levels by 2028. Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam has been speaking on CGT and Africa TV in Nairobi, Kenya.
We have moved very fast. And we are very close to ending the negotiation on both ends. We're also very close to ending our negotiation with the Eurobond holders. This year, the figures we are seeing already show that we are likely to perform better than what was projected for the year. And this is as a result of the increased investment in agriculture, in industrialization, but we're also launching a new program, the SME Growth and Opportunity Program, that will mobilize resources to increase financing to SME.
You heard the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, speaking to CGT and Africa TV in Nairobi, Kenya, on the sidelines of the Africa Development Bank's annual meetings. The amount of money businesses have set aside for payment of utility bills is expected to go up marginally from next month. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission has announced more than 5% increase in utility tariffs for water and electricity beginning the 1st of July this year. The development may increase the cost of doing business for many enterprises that are currently struggling. However, it is not clear for now how it may impact on inflation going forward. At the time, there has been prediction of it slowing. The African Development Bank has revised the country's growth rate to 3.4% for 2024 and 4.3% for 2025. This is higher than the 2.8% it earlier predicted this year. Here's more in this report.
According to the AFDB, the revised growth rate is stronger than earlier anticipated. This would be led by industry and services on the supply side and private consumption and investment on the demand side. Ghana will thus place 14th ahead of Nigeria in West Africa with the strongest gross domestic product growth. Nonetheless, the outlook is clouded by several factors, including the impact of fiscal consolidation under the post-COVID program for economic growth, the lingering effects of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, limited access to finance and foreign exchange. However, prudent macroeconomic management policies could mitigate the risks. To fast-track structural transformation, the African Development Bank urged Ghana to enhance its competitiveness by easing infrastructure bottlenecks, accelerate agro-industrialization by strengthening skills development, among others.
That was a business desk report. Some more news for you this morning. Traders say pricing has been a major factor for turning to Asia for imports over the years. Latest Ghana Statistical Service data on trade showed that majority of Ghana's imports are coming from China and the Far East. This shows a gradual shift from Europe over the past 1 year to Asia. President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Joseph Obeng, says the goods from Asia are also affordable.
We have also observed that most of these European countries were buying with the Chinese companies. So they go to China, make their brand, and then we were buying from them. So when we started going to fairs and all that, we saw that they were buying also from China. And that's where we had the confidence and started shifting from Europe and then apply our trade in Asia.
That was President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Joseph Obeng there. Government recorded a 29.71% oversubscription of treasury bills a week after it failed to meet its target. Interest rates dipped slightly on the yield curve. Here's more in this report.
According to the auction results by the Bank of Ghana, the government got 3.52 billion Ghana cedis from the sale of the short-term instrument. About 2.715 billion cedis, representing 77.02%, came from the 91-day T-bill. The uptake was, however, 2.710 billion cedis. For the 182-day bill, 608.41 million cedis were tendered. All the bids were accepted. Similarly, 201.49 million cedis were received for the 364-day bill. Again, all the bids were accepted. Meanwhile, interest rates returned to their downward trajectory. The yield on the 91-day bill declined marginally by 6.0 basis points to 25.03%. VAT of the 182-day bill went down to 26.91% from 26.94% the previous week.
So, based on demand and supply dynamics of the market, Benzo Oil Palm Plantation and Total Energies are expected to post gains this week on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Let's analyze how your investments will fare this week. Here's Grace Munayin of Data Bank Research.
Last week's trading concluded on a positive note, driven by gains in 4 stocks and no laggards. The gainers were GCB Bank, New Gold, Total Energies, and Benzo Oil Palm Plantation. Accordingly, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index climbed 0.07% weekly, to a year-to-date gain of 19.92%, whereas the Data Bank Stock Index increased by 0.19% weekly, to a year-to-date gain of 17.58%. Aggregate turnover totaled 6.6 million Ghana cedis from the exchange of 2.6 million shares across 21 counters. MTN Ghana was the topmost counter, accounting for 64% of the recorded turnover. Based on the demand and supply dynamics of the market, we expect Benzo Oil Palm Plantation and Total Energies to post some gains this week. For Joy Business Reports, Grace Monanyun of Data Bank Research.
Thanks, Grace. Before we go and look at the commodity market, crude oil has opened trading this week, selling at $81.03 a barrel. Gold went down marginally from yesterday's trading, going for $2,321 an ounce. Cocoa also selling at $9,331 a ton after going up by more than $70. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Thanks for listening, everyone. The Super Morning Show continues with Kojo and the team. And So actually, the central bank spent more than 8 billion cedis through its open market operations to check inflation. That's the explanation they are giving for the 10 billion cedi loss for last year.
Yeah,
so much money going into checking inflation.
Exactly. I mean, if if those who are supposed to do what they are supposed to do didn't do it, and our inflation is galloping, then by all means they have to check it. And
exactly.
More barbarian. We get what we vote for. Okay, so shall we enjoy something for the morning? Your friend Nasi.
Okay, what song are we doing?
I mean, he didn't walk away empty-handed. He was a winner on Saturday night. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be Aseda. Come on. I mean,
all right.
At this point, Ubi Asia, yeah. And
Aseda.
That's what it is. Okay, then. So stay.
Which I want to dedicate this song to.
Which one? The one I was singing?
Yeah, the one that's being played to Reverend Istudanaba.
He loves it.
One of his favorite songs.
Yes. Nasi turned up at his birthday singing. Was it his birthday?
Yeah, yes. A surprised one.
He was blown over by it. Everyone in the room was singing along. It was beautiful.
One of his favorite songs. So, Reverend Istudanaba, this I dedicate to you.
There you go. Good morning, Rev. Okay, it's 6:35. Let's get into it. Now, of course, we'll start with the Drive Safe campaign,
which is brought to you by Joy News and the Multimedia Group, supported by Toyota Superior Quality. Do you know that each year, nearly 75% of all weather-related car accidents, they occur on wet pavements, and also 47% happen during rainfall, which is the reason why, of course, with lower light conditions and slippery surfaces, driving in the rain can be one of the most difficult and dangerous things to do. So wait for the weather to improve is the key expression there. Wait for the weather to improve before you set out. Do not be in a hurry to actually drive in the rain when you don't know the conditions ahead of you. In this republic, trees can fall on the road. A lot of things can happen.
Is it the winds or it's what, or the rains?
Very strong winds, actually.
Sorry for my expression of words, heavier or what?
So here's what it is. It's funny. In everywhere around the world, the risk that rain poses to driving is visibility and grip on the road, right? The slippery surface. That's it. But in Ghana, there are two extra risks. One is the degradation of the road itself.
That's true.
Right?
Drainage.
Yes.
Small rain, the roads are flooded. Small. Let it drizzle, slight rain.
Your
for
car
like
can
2
be
minutes.
washed away. We've seen it before. We've seen it before, right here. What's it called? Ring Road. You remember?
Yeah, that's
there
true.
were cars in gutters. Graphic Road.
I'm not so sure whether some of the car companies they have even returned.
June 3rd, right?
Yes.
Today's June 3rd.
Yes.
June 3rd. Does it ring a bell?
Do you remember the flood and fire that
yes,
devastated Circle? I was one of the first people there, and I still to this day. I'm a 44-year-old, very soon to be 45, 11th of June. 45-year-old man, and I
will not hear the last of this your birthday
ever. And I cannot.
Please,
please, you are going the wrong way with this. You are going the wrong way with this discussion. It's about inflows, not outflows. All right. So I was just going to say that, look, I'm almost 45 years old, and I will never be able to delete those images from my brain. I remember arriving at the I think it was a Shell filling station.
Yes.
No, there was a Goyle on the right. So the Goyle filling station, and they were bringing bodies out of the building next to it. The building had gone up in flames, obviously, when the explosion happened, and they were coming out charred, like people whose clothes were burnt into their skin, so that it now looked like a pattern on their flesh. Right? I will never forget those images. Human beings burnt like so many pieces of livestock. Human beings, all because we don't know what to do with ourselves when it rains.
Yeah. And Kojo,
anyway,
it may interest you. I remember 2 years later? Yes, virtually every year for like the next 4 years, I was tracking the implementation of the report from the committee. It was terrible.
After everybody went there to say never again.
In fact, I don't know if I've stopped tracking, but if the order is still what it is today, it tells you that we've not completed that particular project.
And the way the rains are coming in, I think we are all worried.
Yeah.
First, when it rains, I will still want to drive. But now, listen, I still want to be stationary until things subside a little bit, because you don't know, a tree falling, you get into a gutter.
Anything.
And the Flagstaff House Road, the airport road, is it the topography, engineering, or what?
Poor drainage. Keep talking about it.
And
poor
these
drainage.
are our ceremonial routes.
And talking about poor drainage, one of the drains around my house actually had a problem. Then, just yesterday's own, I saw the entire stretch flooded. Hey, I didn't see this was possible. Because, I've not seen that happen before. But the entire stretch was flooded. I could see drivers struggling, finding ways. And I was just observing from them. And
Listen,
wow.
I think your lives are important. Listen, when it's raining heavy, please try and park aside before when things normalize, before you move. Because you see that people are still trying to drive in these heavy rains.
Now let's learn how to say it right, and it's brought to you by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks, and Societe Generale Bank Ghana, the future is you.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either.
Why am I thinking of lunch at 6:38 a.m.? Clearly, my metabolism is taking a head start today. Oh, lest I forget, we warmly welcome Wache on the Super Morning Show, so, tell your friends. And yes, I said lest I forget, not least I forget. Lest is an old English word which means to prevent or to avoid. He took an umbrella lest he be soaked in a sudden downpour. He kept all his receipts lest he be accused of embezzlement. It's lest, not least. Saying least he be soaked or least he be accused or least I forget just makes no sense. Now, I hope you noted the way I follow the word lest with the present or future tense of the verb. Lest I forget, not lest I forgot. That is how you say it right. All right, so that's how you do it. And now, before we get into the headlines on News Review brought to us by Syntex Tank, Air Strong, Air Tough, and Access Bank, More Than Banking, let's hear the fascinating rap from this weekend's news file. Hear it.
I don't know, but if that evidence was not before the court, the mere introduction of that evidence at the stage that he claimed that there was annoying or whatever, I personally would not see how, at the end of it, if I summon up the case, you can introduce that to sway the judge or to persuade the judge or to make the judge believe that something that transpired out of the court has any influence on the outcome of the case.
By calling the accused person and coaching him, persuading him to give testimony not based on matters within his personal knowledge, but within the knowledge of the AG, and to skew his answers in such a way that supports the AG's case, because the AG kept on saying in the tape that those answers will create no difficulty for him if he did so. And even when the witness was saying, I can't do this because I will be dishonest and I will be implicating an innocent man, the AG was still hell-bent on pushing him to do that. He breached Rule 13, he breached Rule 56 2D, and what is even worse is that he breached Section 213 and 214 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act, Act 29, by telling a witness to forge a fake medical excuse duty.
He thinks that as a trained lawyer, the intent of JAPA to have a conversation with someone and secretly tape that conversation without the consent of the other party, that to Sami Jevi is fair. That to him is not criminal conduct. That's clear invasion of privacy. So what is the exception here?
That it is to prevent crime.
Which crime? Alluded to the Attorney General calling him.
He says Section 213.
Fabrication of evidence.
Exactly.
Why was JAPA going to fabricate evidence? If I disagree with you, if we are to explain what letters of credit is,
right,
you have your interpretation, I have my interpretation, and you stick to your interpretation. Can that be fabrication? Under what context can you call that fabrication? If we are not careful enough, we are going to mix up this whole thing with people shouting and not understanding what they're saying.
Yeah, that was quite an episode, wasn't it?
Yes, it was an interesting engagement. Now that there is already we know the motion, we know the response to the motion, the court will have time to deal with it proper. So hopefully the other issues outside the court will be reduced so that the case will travel the expected path, because there are serious implications coming out of this case. Yeah. I mean, for the life of me, I've not seen an attorney general, even during the Free Tattoo movement. They were talking about John Kufuor himself and what the government was doing. The target and the person was not the attorney general directly. I have not seen this level of targeting of the attorney general in this case. And I think if the court comes to some understanding of it, we may all calm down and we will see where justice is delivered.
Also, I mean, it's important. I don't know about you, but I'm happy that the Attorney General's office has no objection to the televising of the.
That's true.
Thing. I mean, it's a novel thing.
No, it would have sounded very strange.
It will be interesting to see.
All right, the people think that you are doing something wrong. So if you opposed it, what do you have to hide?
Bad, yeah.
So
but I want to see his cross-examination of Jakba. You know, whether there will be any way in which this matter can be straightened. You know, because as it is, it's in the air, isn't it? Okay. Let's get to the headlines.
Yeah, now let me start with the finder, and it's reporting this morning. BOG post 10.5 billion loss in 2023 due to mop up of excess liquidity to reduce inflation. The other story, electricity, water tariffs increased effective July 1, and China retains position as largest source of Ghana's imports in 2023. Mahama promises high purchase electric motorbikes for Okada riders.
To the Daily Guide, we have Ghana and African Development Bank signs a 103 million grant agreement. One stabbed in Kasoa NDC MPP clash. Comes support development, so says Ochihini, and Atto Force and JAPA applications frivolous, according to the Attorney General. And also the Daily Statement says,
Now, before you go to the Daily Statesman, let me bring you what the Ghanaian Times is saying. Now, free dialysis session for persons below 18 and above 60. This was supposed to start on the 1st of June, as the NHIA had indicated to us. Hopefully, we should be able to check whether this is happening. So, if you are below 18 and you are above 60, free dialysis sessions. That is what the National Health Insurance Authority has been saying. Of course, this has been explained by Kwame Saponesiedu. The amount devoted to it is woefully inadequate. And hopefully we'll get more money to do that anyway.
And just like what the lawyers always say, test the law, test the system. You know, if you're under 18,
yes, go. Because if this was there, Priscilla Asante wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing. If this was there, Priscilla Asante wouldn't have died. Now, Government leads massive home cleanup campaign in Accra. That's on the front page too. And electricity and the water tariff going up so here. But they are giving you water levels at Akosombo Dam. It's important. It's important because if we knew of this and we're all following cleanly, this we didn't spill at the right time. We were supposed to spill. We didn't do the right thing. We appear to have taken advice. We didn't take advice. Wouldn't have happened last year. And the massive devastation that people are still recovering from today.
And it'll be very important in these rainy season times as well, how that would impact on the levels. Okay, to the Daily Statement, it has Ochihini charges the privilege to support their roots. You also have 52 million Ghana cedis for students' loans, and that's coming from the Education Minister. Nooks commend government for release. Homework cleanup campaign underway, and free dialysis for vulnerable groups. So says the doctor, that is the NHI chief executive. That's what I have in the Daily Statement.
All right, let's go online. The online review brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest, Goyle, Good Energy, Yenara India, and G&J Technical Services celebrating 30 years of providing backup power in Ghana.
Now, life's unpredictability shouldn't cast doubts on your future. Gain peace of mind by securing your future with Zenith Bank's bank assurance plans, whether it's an educational plan to safeguard your child's academic future, a life plan to give you and your loved ones financial support in the event of critical illness, permanent disability, and death, or a farewell plan to cover funeral expenses. Zenith Bank's bank assurance plans, and are rated by Prudential Life Insurance, provides absolute peace of mind. Secure your future and that of your family with Zenith Bank Assurance today. Sign up at any Zenith Bank branch nationwide or visit zenithbank.com.gh for more information. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
All right. Goyle Good Energy has hit the road with exciting choices to energize your vehicle. It's giving you more options to take you further. Watch the space for your choice. Goyle, Yena Yedia. All right, on myjoyonline.com, PIAC report reveals 36% shortfall in ECG's payments for gas in 2023. Samatex win maiden Ghana Premier League title 1 season after promotion. Good for them. That's like a Leicester City story, isn't it?
Yeah, friends of Kotoko.
Indeed. Okay. And Akufo-Addo condemned abuse of executive power, but he's doing same. Arthur Kennedy is the one saying that. All right. Now, look, let's very quickly talk about this situation at Bank of Ghana, right? They posted 10.5 billion Ghana cedi losses in 2023. Some might say that's a blessing compared to 60.8 billion cedis in 2022. George is with us. We might as well take advantage to understand the situation. They are saying that it was their efforts to control inflation that led to these recent losses.
So the Bank of Ghana undertakes what they call this open market operations, where
they might issue instruments to try and check inflation in the system. And you know where inflation was. And they had to issue bonds and other instruments to mop up. And this comes at a cost because you have to, again, compensate those who are then giving you your money. And some of these instruments that were issued during the year under review cost as much as more than 8 billion Ghana cedis. And that cost ended up impacting on their bottom line as an institution for them to record this 10.6 billion. I think the one critical question, Kujo, you would ask yourself is that going forward, do you see light at the end of the tunnel, or are steps being taken to improve the situation? And that is what could give you some comfort in terms of the outlook and going forward. They have, if you go through the statement again, they have put in place certain measures that they believe that they could return to a profit position as early as next year.
So, George, I have to ask this. I mean, what the Bank of Ghana is telling us is that if not for these, open market operations that they had to do to control inflation, if not for that, they actually would have probably ended up in a profit position, right? Yeah. Because this is completely different from what they had to do to lose 60.8 billion in the previous year, which was down to domestic debt, right? So this time, if not for this, the Bank of Ghana would have posted profit. Could have. That's interesting because you see the amount that they actually spent on these open market operations is almost 5 times the amount they spent on open market operations in the previous year. Okay, almost 5-fold. Which means that they've had to do 5 times as much to control inflation as they had to in the previous year. So really, once again, we are drawing a straight line back to the management of our economy.
Kojo, you might not be wrong. It's more of a fiscal challenge, and a fiscal situation. And you realize that now the Bank of Ghana may have to, somebody pouring the water down or causing the mess, and the Bank of Ghana has to come in and clean up the mess. And it boils down to the economy again, that this is the cost to the country when things are not done right. Sure. And it has to do with inflation being so high that you have to take drastic measures to correct that situation. So, yes, of course, and that is where we are right now, Kojo. But for the question you be asking yourself is that, do you see the situation improving going forward? We are more than 60 billion. We are now 10. If what they are strictly enforcing, critical among them is this zero financing, which actually has already kicked in, we also understand that by the 3rd quarter of this year, a memorandum of understanding will be signed to recapitalize the bank as well. Certain strict measures that they are putting in place would ensure that at least that position improved. But again, the critical question is, again, you want to ask yourself, Kojo, is that has this loss impacted the Bank of Ghana's ability to do its primary function of price stability and checking inflation? If you go through the statement again, or the annual accounts which have been audited by Deloitte, we get the understanding that they are in a strong position to conduct that monetary operation to ensure that keeping prices stable or reducing prices being inflation is not affected, Kojo.
Now, I want to read what Professor Lord Mensah actually shared. He said, let's not look at the magnitude of the losses, but the signal to the market. Yes, BOG is not like a typical commercial bank, and its loss does not necessarily mean insolvency or unable to perform its duties, but the loss has implications on the economy. Though BOG may have the power to create new money and manage its balance sheet in ways commercial banks cannot, the loss can have implications on the economy in many ways. It can reduce the ability to implement monetary policy. This is what the BOG does anyway. If BOG's capital is depleted as a result of the loss, it may not have the resources to implement policies that will stabilize the economy. Another effect of the loss is increased borrowing costs. Governments or banks may face higher interest rates as the losses may lead to reduced lending or increased in borrowing costs. Finally, the loss may also decrease confidence in the market. The market players may lose confidence in BOG's ability to manage the economy, leading to currency devaluations or capital outflows.
That's what I was waiting to hear about, what this will do to our currency. Because already we have this very interesting situation where the finance ministry, or at least the deputy finance minister, is signaling that we can't really expect a solution to the depreciating cedi until after 7th of January 2025.
Yeah. But Kojo, in situations like this, when it comes to the currency, I think that whose word or whose verdict or whose support, that's why it said in the Bible, I will believe what a central bank is doing to stabilize the currency than what somebody in the fiscal space is going to say, Kojo. My primary focus...
What will a speculator do? That's what matters. Yeah. Because it is not you and me, our belief, that will affect the value of the currency. Yeah. It's the guy who wants to decide whether or not to give up his dollars. Yeah. Right? And he will make that decision based on what he hears in the media. So the deputy finance minister saying such a thing, whether it's accurate or not, has an effect, does it not?
I know it will have an effect, but I'm just saying that, Kojo, I would take the word of a central bank in what they are doing.
That's because you're educated on the matter.
And the signaling effect. At the end of the day, all said and done with this big English, when that person goes onto the market and he sees that inflation is going up and the cost of doing business is going up, and he thinks that he doesn't see the situation improving going forward, he wants to hedge against that. And that's why he is rushing for those dollars. So it boils down again to how do you stabilize inflation and how do you bring confidence in the market by certain actions that trickles down to that man on the street.
It's just another example of how no matter how hard the Bank of Ghana works, the government of Ghana will do something to make their work even harder.
Very difficult.
That's a typical example of that.
And I agree with you. Our challenge is a fiscal situation and not necessarily a monetary problem.
Speaking
but
of
it appears that on the monetary side that we are doing a lot. For example, this conversation about how much we are reducing expenditure, for example. You do not hear the monumental things that people have discussed over the period. So even going to the next election, I mean, I did not hear the political parties say, listen, I am going to stay within this limit. And this is the limit that we believe we should stay in with, regardless of the impact of the IMF program. I hope you get my point.
If you look at the numbers, we are not seeing that serious overruns there, whether it's being reported or not. My test will be after September or after July to still see whether the so-called fiscal discipline, we are seeing it in the numbers.
But look, as we turn away from this matter, let's remember what the headline is. In any other situation, if your liabilities exceed your assets, you are insolvent. In any other situation. But Bank of Ghana insists that, okay, as for them, they have policy solvency. Okay, so the rules don't exactly apply to them the way it does to any other entity. So they have policy solvency. But guess what? This policy solvency, they say it's just because their total income generated is enough to cover open market operations. But guess what? Open market operation cost is about 8.37 billion. And their total income generated is only 8.8 billion. So you see how thin the margin is. They are literally on the edge, on the precipice of solvency.
I know you want to push this situation in more of a typical company, but also let's understand that when it comes to a broader central banking operation, the dynamics might be a little bit different. And that is why for me, it's all about the outlook. And am I convinced by some of the actions that they are taking? Yes. If government would also be fiscal discipline and not be causing this mess for BOG, I think we might be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
We'll see about that, won't we? Yes. Okay. Just before we go on, something big happened on the continent last week. South Africa went to the polls with some very interesting results. Okay, ANC won. I mean, the presidency. Anyway. But in Parliament, Charlie Anko Yesao. Yes,
but I think the writing was on the wall. I mean, seriously, South Africa's situation, sometimes you struggle to understand.
Kojo,
I don't
after
know.
3 decades of apartheid, let's say 1994, ANC had 252 seats in parliament. In 2019, it went down to 230. Now they are struggling with 159. They lost 71 of those seats. And the interesting part is that losing 71 of those seats.
To who?
Yes, to their own.
Zuma.
Yes. And of course, he formed a party, and a party basically swept the entire KwaZulu-Natal area. One of those 7 provinces anyway. But if you look at that, over the years from 1994, the electoral fortunes of the ANC has been dwindling over the years, which is very worrying for a political party that rode on the back of apartheid. And many said this is a party that will rule forever in South Africa. the tide appears to be changing, and in the other direction, that's not good for them. And this is not, and many people have explained why this is. They have brought in the Zuma part, the fact that today ANC may need a coalition with either Zuma or the Democratic Alliance.
They are worst enemy.
I mean, they may have to go into some sort of arrangement in Mandela's South Africa for that to happen. But there's another group of that's thinking in this direction. Yes, there was a time that you could rely on apartheid and things to win elections. Yes, but the young people in South Africa today are not so much enthused with that kind of past. They want better governance, and that better governance, no matter which way it's shrouded, it's a signal in this election, even though we've not lost entirely. It's a signal to an ANC, ever-powering ANC, nobody thought will lose election. And this is not only a signal in South Africa, all across the the continent. No, seriously. People are demanding better governance. They are no longer using existential, ethnic, and other issues to determine their votes in ways that have been over the period. A signal that those in Senegal, those in Ghana, those in other countries, even here in Ghana, there are political parties that relies on a certain group forever, permanently. As to whether going into this election, they'll equally be able to rely on that. And to what extent and to what percentage? Because the demographics has changed. People don't get it. The continent is predominantly younger people who are demanding higher standards.
Ray, that's the reason why on our network, I believe that one of the most important programs in the run-up to the election is our Just Turned 18 show, hosted by the young lady, Lois, right? Because this year, by the EC's estimation, we're looking at another 1.5 million voters coming onto the register because they are now turning 18. These are the people who don't care about Rollins or Kufuor, or they don't care about those things that have institutionalized people's choices when they go to the ballot, right? Those things that have made people lifelong NDC or lifelong NPP members. They don't care about those things. They care about jobs. The only thing they care about is being able to pay their bills and live in dignity. They want to be able to pursue their education. They want to be able to walk out of their home, earn a living, and come back with their head held high. When you watch that show, you realize that this time around, this election will not fall on those predetermined lines. 40% here, 40% there. 1.5 million people. That is a huge number. That is a massive, influential number. Nobody has won an election by more than the odd million. The biggest record, NPP in 2016, 1 million. This is 1.5 million people. So I am amused to see how much the two parties are neglecting that demographic. They are busy fighting each other while these people are sitting at home taking their own plan, taking their own decision of what they will do when they walk into that ballot box.
Could you some would say it's all about the bread and butter, and just like what is always said, that democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Are we making it for the people, or just by just a few people?
Well, anyway, we would normally have brought you the BBC News by Fidelity Bank, believe with us, and Old Mutual, 10 years of greatness in Ghana, here for a lifetime. We apologize. I mean, this was an important conversation, had to be done. BBC returns tomorrow. But in the meantime, a few messages from our partners, after which the show continues. Stay with us.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Good energy hits the road with exciting choices to energize your ride, giving you more options to take you further. Watch this space for your choice.
Goil, yeah.
What name brightens the streets, homes, and businesses of Ghana? What company has been providing world-class backup power to Ghanaians for 30 years?
G&J Technical Services.
Final answer?
Yes, G&J, final answer.
Correct.
G&J is celebrating 30 years of providing backup power in Ghana. As the largest supplier of world-class generators in the country, we have been the backbone of Ghana's alternative power industry by delivering the best sales, maintenance, and after-sales solutions the nation has ever seen. We've done it for 30 years, and we promise that the future will be even brighter. Reach us in Accra on 030-268-9178 or 9179 and 020-222-2204 all the way to 2220. And in Kumasi on 020-222-236 or 020-222-2220.
As the world is changing, you need updated skills to take advantage of all the opportunities out there today. The Ghana Skills Development Fund has already provided training for dozens of businesses over the last 2 years. And now it's your turn. With over 100 million Ghana cedis given up for skills upgrades in the formal, informal, and innovations and green technology sectors, applications are now open for the next batch. Visit www.gsdf.ctvet.gov.gh to submit concept notes between now and 14 June. And be sure to apply in the correct window to avoid disqualification. Call 0303-941-361 for more inquiries or send an email to gsdf@ctvet.gov.gh with inquiry as the subject. The GSDF is funded by the World Bank through the International Development Association IDA with the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training CTVET as the implementing agency under the Ministry of Education.
Dear business owner, congrats on not giving up on your business. You deserve a medal, and your business deserves to be taken to the next level. In fact, it's about time you run a Zenith Bank SME account so you and your business can enjoy the perks of the Zenith SME Business Card. Oga and Oga Madam status.
The Zenith SME Business Card is a Visa debit card for making secure payments for goods and services. Enjoy great benefits such as free customized digital SME training, free marketing toolkits, access to Visa practical skills training, and more. Unlock the potential of your business today. Visit any Zenith Bank branch nationwide and sign up for the Zenith SME Business Card, the ultimate payment solution for SMEs. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com.gh or call 0302-680-884 or 0307-086-370. Zenith Bank, in your best interests.
You worked hard for your money, and DSTV gives you a whole lot more for a lot less than you think. Ooh. Instead of one takeout dinner, how about treating the family to a whole month of the best entertainment with DSTV? From thrilling sports, blockbusters, captivating series, to entertaining kids shows, we have it all.
Totally awesome!
And with DSTV Stream, you can watch on the go.
I'm here!
Plus, you can choose a package to suit your pocket. There's a whole lot more to enjoy for a lot less than you think with DSTV.
Anymore, pop quiz. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Can you give me 3 words that start with Omni?
Oh, that's easy.
Omnibus, omnipotent, omnibus. The bank with a really nice signboard. Hey, Radzi, you mean Omnibisic. OMNIBSIC. Omnibisic. Let me hear you say it. Omnibisic. Perfect. Is that an abbreviation? Not entirely. And it's not just a bank with nice signboards either. Omnibisic Bank is Ghana's fastest growing bank with innovative banking products and headquarters in Atlantic Tower at Airport City, Accra, as well as 40 branches across the country. Omnibisic Bank has the final word on excellent customer service delivery in Ghana. Plus, they have the coolest signboard. Yes, they do. And the coolest name, Omnibisic.
At your service.
This election, ask your favorite politicians about their plans for tackling climate change and improving access to water, sanitation, and hygiene. Let this define who you vote for. At WaterAid, we believe in the future where our leaders prioritize climate change, water, sanitation, and hygiene. Your vote can make this possible.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
Winner over the weekend. Stoneboy is TGMA Artist of the Year. I'm sure he's feeling very, very proud. Big smiles in his home. Shouts to him and Dr. Louisa, who was by his side on the big nights, looking like a wonderful, wonderful.
Louisa is her surname?
No, Dr. Louisa is what everybody calls her.
Okay.
That's even her social media handle.
I see.
Yes, her surname will be Setakla because that's Stoneboy's surname.
Yeah, I was confused. I was not clear.
You are confused. Yes. Anyway. They say what?
They say that people are still complaining. Why? What is their complaint? They say a king was promised, but a king's promises did not come to pass. But clearly,
they want to stone the boy.
Yeah. They want to say that something stolen verdict, but clearly, many disagree with the stolen verdict.
They want to stone the boy.
But there's no stolen verdict here. It is.
Anyway, we'll talk about it a bit later.
Yes.
Other things we'll talk about. PURC set to increase tariffs for electricity by almost 6%. What's that going to do?
Yeah. Within the last 2 years, there's been over 100% increase in electricity tariffs alone.
Correct.
This has not improved electricity delivery.
No.
This has also not made my power stable. 2, it has also not made my quality of life better because it affected inflation and it's actually affected my life in so many ways. I used to say that 200 cedi was enough for me for I think 2 weeks or so.
No.
Now I cannot rely
I'm spending about 3,000 cedis.
I do like 1,000. Yeah, which is problematic for me.
Crazy.
I mean, it's a very serious concern.
Okay, another thing we'll talk about, Kasoa. Rumble in Kasoa. 2 people arrested, 1 person stabbed. What is going on between NDC and MPP there? This is a registration exercise, for the love of Christ. Anyway, we'll talk about that too. I'll tell you what else we'll touch on. It's the very simple question of, if in Ghana we have agreed that almost all our leaders will be lawyers, then should we be taking advantage to train our lawyers better so that they'll be better leaders?
Lecturer and lawyer Dennis Ajay wrote something very instrumental on that over the weekend. Ahead of the call to the bar, the mini call, and I think schools, institutions, and those who participate in the legal system ought to take due notice of that, because what you put in, what you get out of it at the end of the day. That question ought to be answered. What quality do we want in a lawyer, especially when it comes to how they contribute to the development of this country?
True story. All right, that and more coming up on today's show. And you can participate. We want to hear what you think about everything. So use the hashtag JoySMS when you're expressing your thoughts on any of these topics. It's your show. Take part in it.
Wake up to joy, joy, joy. Sunshine and joy in the morning time. Wake up to the Super Morning Show. Yeah. Wake up to joy, joy in the morning. Yeah. If you're turning on your radio, go for some joy in the morning. On the Super Morning Show.
Welcome to the Joy Super Morning Show. And certainly, welcome to the first Monday in the month of June, right? Woohoo! There's good news from G&J, your reliable alternative backup power solutions provider. And you know they're already 30 years. We wish to thank all our cherished partners and customers for being part of this journey. As they embrace the future with brighter hopes, they are looking forward to providing you with the best backup power services to your homes, offices, churches, and more. They are also still the largest backup power supplier in the country, and with their 24-hour service delivery, they are poised to give you the best brands in backup power and after-sales service. Locate G&J in Accra off the Mortuary Road to Kolebu and call them on this number, 0302 689 178 or 0302 689 179 or 020 22 204. And in Kumasi, call them on 020 222236 or 020 222220.
All right, now, as a business, you're always exploring innovative ways to maximize your operations and foster growth in today's dynamic environment. And of course, Absa knows that no great story was ever written alone. With a little help from Absa Supplier Finance Program, you can pay your suppliers early so that you pay later. And you can extend your payment terms without compromising your supplier relationships. By optimizing your working capital, your suppliers will also benefit from early access to funds, enhancing their financial stability and cash flow, so that the next chapter of your business is one of growth and achievement. Go visit absa.com.gh or speak to your relationship manager today for more details on the Absa Supplier Finance Program. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. Absa.
Now, every time we eat, we know that food and sugars are trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, you have foul breath. Brushing your teeth every morning and at night with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter gives your teeth the protection they need, leaving you with 10 times stronger teeth. Now, what you need to know is that Pepsodent Cavity Fighter is fortified with profluoride and microcalcium ingredients, sealing tiny and invisible holes in your teeth. This will help you prevent cavities and it's keeping your teeth strong and your mouth very healthy. Pepsodent Cavity comes in the 175 gram big family pack. There's also the 120 gram Ejakwa pack. There's the 65 gram and the 12 gram sachet. So you can always get what you can afford at any time. Don't just use toothpaste that brush your teeth. Use Pepsodent that protects the teeth. Always remember to brush your teeth in the morning and before you sleep at night, which is absolutely crucial. Pepsodent has been educating Ghanaians on how to brush their teeth for 25 good years. Pepsodent is recommended by the Ghana Dental Association. Pepsodent gives you the opportunity to talk to a dentist for free. All that you need to do is call toll free this number 0800 161 000. You can talk to a dentist for free on that. You can get Pepsodent at any shop near you. If you want to speak to our customer care people, all that you need to do is call another toll free 0800 2030. Pepsodent, every smile matters.
All right, big shouts to all of the team at Express Pay. They're doing a great job delivering simplified digital financial services coupled with 24/7 world-class customer service. Now, Express Pay focuses on living life effortlessly. With Express Pay, you can transfer money from your bank or mobile money account to any bank or mobile money account and pay for a myriad of services like DSTV, ECG, water bills, Zoom Lion. And the beauty of having Express Pay is that you can load your bank cards and mobile money accounts on Express Pay to give you multiple access when sending money. What's more, Express Pay has dropped its prices for all Visa card transfers from 9 selected banks. So you pay nothing more than 10 Ghana cedis when you transfer any amount to a mobile money or bank account using your Visa card from Stanbic Bank, Ecobank, Standard Chartered Bank, Absa Bank, FNB, Fidelity Bank, Cal Bank, First Atlantic Bank, and GT Bank. 2 of my banks are on that list. Life is just simple with Express Pay. Download Express Pay in the Play Store or the App Store now. Express Pay. Payments simplified.
Now, a poorly maintained car engine can age faster. That is why we offer specially formulated quartz engine oil with age resistance technology. It is a breakthrough innovation that ensures optimal performance for your engine and improves protection against mechanical wear by up to 74%. Even under extreme temperatures and pressure. Choosing quartz from Total Energies is choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz, keep your engine younger for longer.
To the businessman, the trader, the parent sending money to loved ones and business partners. Well, thanks to Access Bank and PAPS partnership, you can now send money across borders hassle-free. Now you can send money to pay for goods and services, to make business transactions, and to cover school fees across Africa without worrying about foreign exchange losses or delays. It is straightforward, secure, and it keeps your mind at ease. Benefit from instant payments across Nigeria, Liberia, Gambia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone with zero foreign exchange hassle. When you send money in cedis, it will now be received in any other currency by the recipient. For more information, go to ghana.accessbankplc.com or call the toll-free number 0800 004400. For all of your cross-border payments, visit any of their branches and PAPS it with Access Bank. Access Bank, more than banking.
Now to you Toyota users, get ready for a revolution. If you want your Toyota engine to function optimally, then there's only one choice, the Toyota Genuine Motor Oil. The Toyota Genuine Motor Oil has been rigorously tested and proven to be the best oil for your Toyota engine. Specially crafted to keep your Toyota engine running smoothly and efficiently. The Toyota Genuine Motor Oil is available at all Toyota Ghana branches across the country. Nothing, absolutely nothing makes your engine happier than Toyota Genuine Motor Oil. For bulk purchase or distribution, contact Toyota Ghana on 0302 429 801. Toyota Ghana, that company, is proud to be associated with the Joy News Joy FM Drive City Tips on the Super Morning Show here. Toyota, superior quality.
All right, don't forget at some point today to go to kingdomstoreonline.com. You know what happens there. The very best quality office essentials, equipment, and furniture are available, as well as stationery from Kingdom Books and Stationery. Now, they will deliver to you in very good time once you make your order and pay for it via Momo. And of course, if you're in Accra or Tema, you get free delivery. Terms and conditions apply at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks. All right, well, it's time for us to take a break. We come back with birthdays and sports. Stay with us.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is. And sometimes, even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Imagine a world where your home or business is powered by the sun's boundless energy. Picture your rooftop transformed into a solar sanctuary, radiating with eco-friendly vibes and city-saving brilliance. Well, dream no more. With Standard Chartered's renewable energy loans, you can turn this dream into a dazzling reality. And guess what? Our renewable energy loans come at very low rates. That's right, we are not just offering loans, we are offering the keys to your solar-powered kingdom. Say goodbye to high electricity bills and step into a new world where every watt generated is a step towards a brighter, more sustainable future. So if you're ready to take control of your energy destiny and switch to solar today, give us a shout on any of the following phone lines: 050-153-5789, 050-153-5790, 0244-674154. Let's chart a course for a brighter tomorrow and make your solar dreams shine brighter than ever before. Standard Chartered, here for good.
This is what it has come to, the moment that defines a season. It's the finale, and I want it all. I want all the gold and the drama. I want Pep and Klopp racing for the top. I want the biggest stars shining on Champions League nights. I want the fairy tale stories and the glory. I want the passion of Serie A. I want the flair of La Liga. I want the Premier League. I want the football finals. I want it all. Reconnect to catch every match live on DSTV.
Hello, cherished parents. Do you seek quality international education for your child at the most affordable cost in Ghana?
Then look no further. International School of Accra is the best institution for your child now.
ISA provides fabulous educational opportunities for your child using the Cambridge and the IB diploma curricula. We also provide tuition for SAT exams and place students in their university of choice anywhere in the world.
Our experienced IB trained teachers will transform your child into an academic champion, morally upright, and a professionally skilled individual.
Plus, our fees for the IB diploma program is the most affordable in Ghana. Locate ISA at Roman Ridge, Accra, inside the Jack and Jill School.
Or call 0242 586 062 or 0262 907880 or visit our website www.isaghana.com.
International School of Accra, inspiring excellence, building character.
So you sure should understand what's happening, but let me give you some correction. And this is important information because, during the business news, we talked about the story surrounding a First National Bank set to place a charge on foreign exchange accounts from the 1st of July 2024. Now, the charge on capped $100, euro, or British pound is 0.5%.
Right.
Which is supposed to happen from the 1st of July 2024 and not 5% as was earlier reported. So it's 0.5% and not 5% as was reported during the bulletin at 6:15.
Sounds like a typo.
Yes.
Okay, so 0.5%.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, not 5. So have it in mind, 0.5, okay?
Okay.
There's a 0 point and there's a 5.
Yes. Good. Okay, so birthday messages will come later. Brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go. And Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group,
as close as a partner.
Which means it's time now for the Joy Sports Center. Brought to you by
MTN. Everywhere you go.
Standard Chartered Bank.
Here for good.
And DSTV.
It's your moment. Now, Standard Chartered Bank is giving you so much information you should know. But imagine a world where your home or business is powered by the sun's boundless energy. I mean, picture your rooftop transformed into a solar sanctuary, radiating with eco-friendly vibes and city-saving brilliance. Well, dream no more. Yes, dream no more. With Standard Chartered's renewable energy loans, you can turn this dream into a dazzling reality. And guess what? Our renewable energy loans come at very, very low rates. That's right. We are not just offering loans. We are offering the keys to your solar-powered kingdom. Say goodbye to high electricity bills and step into a new world where every watt generated is a step towards a brighter, more sustainable future. So if you're ready to take control of your energy destiny and switch to solar today, give us a shout on any of these numbers: 050-153-5789 or 050-153-5790 or 0244-674-154. Let's chart a course for a brighter tomorrow and make your solar dreams shine brighter than ever before. Standard Chartered, here for good.
Now, accessing super reliable healthcare should be the topmost priority for you and your family, and that is why the Muti Plus, powered by MTN, is giving you just that today. For a subscription fee of just 25 cedis a month, paid on Momo, you can sign on to a health subscription plan that gets you access to unlimited in-store consultations with qualified healthcare professionals and over 160 covered medications and tests at participating pharmacies in Ablekuma, Sakaman, Dansuman, Mamprobi, and Kasoa townships. Now, the best part of it is that there's a dedicated nurse at the Muti pharmacy who can teleconference a doctor when you need one, so that you can access the best consultation services. And to get this great product, all you have to do is download the Ayoba app and sign up today with your Momo account. So that's download the Ayoba app and sign up today with your Momo account. Take charge of your health conveniently and affordably. Sign up for Muti Plus, powered by MTN today. Fentwizzles.
Thank you very much, Kojo. Good morning to you and good morning to all of you. Welcome aboard to the Joy Sports Center with me, Fentu, Tahiru Fentu. Coming up this morning.
Tonight, the night belongs to Real Madrid. Nacho, who lasted the 90 minutes. And Nacho, who takes the cup in his hands. It's their trophy again. It's Real Madrid's trophy again. Real Madrid, Champions League winners 2024.
That's right. Real Madrid beat Borussia Dortmund for a record-extending 15th Champions League trophy. There's that, but here at home, some other people are celebrating. Yes, those are ecstatic Samatex players celebrating with their fans after winning their first ever Ghana Premier League title yesterday in Samraboy. They did so after holding out for a 1-0 win over Bibiani Gold Stars in a match week 32 clash. Samatex, who are only in their second Ghana Premier League season, won the title with 2 games in hand. The game had to be put on hold for nearly an hour after rain came pouring down in the middle of the match. Meanwhile, Great Olympics, they enhanced their relegation fight with a huge 1-0 win over Asante Kotoko in Abrankese yesterday. Raymond Grapeman scored the only goal in the 44th minute after Stevie Mukwala missed a penalty. Olympics still remain in the relegation zone, 2 points away from safety with a game in hand, while the Porcupine Warriors sit 10th, 4 points away from the drop zone. The Kotoko coach is Prosper Ogum. He says his team lost because of their wastefulness.
Ability to connect those chances that we had, especially in the first half. We had so many chances that we could have scored, including the penalty. In the first half, they left so many spaces behind them. Their right side on the left side, and we utilized it very well. But then it was all about the final ball into the net.
That's Ogum there. On Friday, Hearts of Oak beat Nations FC 2-0 in Accra, but remain 2 points away from the relegation zone. Their head coach is Watara Abubakar. He says it was important they got the 3 points.
We just win. We get the 3 points. That's the important thing. Now we are thinking about the next match. You see, the second half is very tough. They have so many problems, the injuries, and the team, nation are playing well. But unfortunately, we get the 2 goals early. It's good for us. We are trying to keep the ball long term, but it's not easy.
And it's going to be critical because Hearts of Oak and Great Olympic, both of them struggling for relegation, they face off this weekend in a crucial Manchester derby in the Ghana Premier League. It's a winner-takes-all situation for those two clubs, really. Elsewhere, Heart of Lions, they picked a crucial 1-0 away win against defending champions Midyama in Takwa with a 103rd minute penalty. Lions are 2 points away from the drop zone as well. Now, let's go back to Samra Boy for some reaction to Samatex winning the Ghana Premier League. Sashi Dankwa is a reporter based in Samra Boy.
The atmosphere at the St. Sports Arena, so it was just a moment to remember yesterday at the St. Sports Arena. I must say that people did not even sleep last night. Pubs were full to capacity, drinking bars were full. That's how some people decided to celebrate this particular monumental feat that FC Samatex have chalked. So it was amazing moment, historic moment for the people of Samra Boy. In the coming days, the management members will roll up the plans for the coronation during their last game against Accra Lions at the St. Sports Arena.
That's Sasu Danko's report. So great scenes in Samra Boy after yesterday's defeat. There were great scenes for Vision FC as well after they secured promotion to the Ghana Premier League for the first time in the club's history after they won the Division 1 League Zone 3 title. Here is a Joy Sports Desk report on all of the Division 1 League action from the weekend, read to you by Lawrence Baidu.
Vision managed the historic feat on Sunday when they beat Uncle T FC 2-1 at the Ni Eje Kreku Sports Complex. Vision, who are coached by former Heart of Oak assistant coach Hamza Oben, have now amassed 55 points, 4 more than rivals Hoho United, with only 1 game to the end of the season. In Zone 2, Basake Holy Stars inched closer to promotion following their 1-0 win over Kemfaiza on Sunday afternoon at the Camp Park in Enyinase. They currently have a 2-point lead at the top of the table with just 1 game remaining. However, they could be promoted even before that last game if they win their protest against Sefri All-Stars, the ruling of which is expected to be released later this week. In Zone 1, Young Apostles and Techiman Heroes will face off in a playoff tie tomorrow at the Accra Sports Stadium to determine which of those 2 teams gets promoted to the Ghana Premier League.
A big game tomorrow, of course, in Accra in that Division 1 League playoff. Young Apostles, Techiman Heroes should be a crucial game. Let's talk about the Black Stars now. That's where Otuado trained with his full 26-man squad yesterday at the University of Ghana Stadium after Alexander Jiku and Osman Bukari joined the camp. One player that has not been invited is Captain Andre Ayew, Ghana's all-time top scorer. Samoajan, former Ghana captain, says that he would have been hurt as well if he were Andre Ayew, but he's urged Ghanaians to back the coach's decision.
I think the decision has been made already, but what we have to do is support the team. For me, Andre has done so much for Ghana. He has been consistent in the national team. He's the Muscat player. And for me, I think the coach has made his decision, and I played with Andre, and he has done everything for Ghana. But this is the situation whereby we have to move on. The coach has made his decision. Personally, if it was me, I won't be happy, which is a normal thing. But at the end of the day, the coach has made his decision, so we have to just support. But we shouldn't forget Andre is already a legend.
Asamoah Gyan there. Now, the Black Stars trained for the third time yesterday in preparation for that crucial 2026 World Cup qualifier against Mali. They will play the Central African Republic as well. Forward Anton Semenyo, he says their aim is to win both games.
So always feel good. I think we're ready to take the challenge, ready to get 2 wins. I think we've got a good team, like I said. So yeah, we just need to win at the end of the day. So we're going to train hard this week and then win the first game and hopefully the second.
That's Anton Semenyo there. Let's wrap up with some action from Europe.
Oh, it's been given away by Madsen. This surely will wrap it up. Vinicius Junior pounces. It's a gift for Vinicius Junior. But tonight, the night belongs to Real Madrid. It's their trophy again. It's Real Madrid's trophy again. Real Madrid, Champions League winners, 2024.
That's right, Vinicius Junior and Dani Carvajal. They scored late goals as Real Madrid beat a wasteful Dortmund side 2-0 at Wembley to win the record-extending 15th Champions League title. The Germans missed at least 3 clear chances before Madrid scored both goals in the last 15 minutes. The Madrid manager, Carlo Ancelotti, also won the record-extending 5th title. Personally, he admits Dortmund were the better side.
Seems a dream, but not a dream. Reality. Really happy for sure. Really difficult game as usual. They played better in the first half. We played better second half. But the final is like this. We were able to win. It was a fantastic season, and also, of course, we are really happy to be able to win the cup.
Carlo Ancelotti. We can now hear from the Dortmund boss, Edin Terzic.
Performance-wise, we showed a great game, but then we also found out why they became champions for the 15th time. They've been so effective. It was something that we missed, but the proud thing is that I think we gave a really good game and we showed everybody that we are here to win, not to play a game.
And here in Accra, we held the biggest watch festival at the Aviation Social Center in the 2024 edition of the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey. Some patrons spoke to us after the event and expressed great delight.
You being indoor and watching this game by yourself, they kind of feel like seeing everyone and everyone acting is so great.
Oh, yes, it was fun, but I wasn't happy though. Oh, my team lost. Even though I support Liverpool, I supported Dortmund as well, but they lost.
It's so exciting. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I'm really happy for it. I've been coming every year.
Actually, today is my first time coming here or experiencing this. I've been hearing about it, rep your jersey. So okay, let me just show up at least to experience it. And of course, I love it!
Some fans at the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey. Before we go, Ghana's Alexander Jiku will play under Jose Mourinho next season after the Portuguese was named Fenerbahce manager. Thousands of fans were in the stadium in Istanbul yesterday to watch the signing ceremony. And in boxing, Zhilei Zhang, the Chinese boxer, knocked out Deontay Wilder in the 5th round of their showdown in Riyadh with an explosive right hook on a momentous night for Frank Warren. Wilder had been knocked off balance by Zhang's previous blow, and then the Chinese heavyweight closed in to finish the job brutally, flooring the American. That's all the sports this morning on the Joy Sports Center. My name is Fentio Tahiru Fentio. There's more sports on our website, myjoyonline.com/sports. Back to you, Kojo.
Yeah, thank you. I think Nice one there. And of course, just before Uncle Ibo White brings us food for thought, let me remind you that you can participate in all our conversations via social media. Use the hashtag JoySMS. Social media messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by Rapinol. When the pain is too much to bear, grab Rapinol from Danex Ayrton Starwin PLC. Rapinol is the rapid pain reliever. Ecobank, a better way, a better Africa. And Malatu from Ernest Chemist. Malatu, power over malaria. Now, this is the year to stop singing and talking about chopping and enjoying life and just do it. Ecobank has over 1 million cedis worth of cash and prizes in the Ecobank Million Gang promo for you and over 7,000 others across Ghana. Ah, my God. Winners will be rewarded bi-weekly, and you can be one of them, winning up to 10,000 Ghana cedis. There'll also be 3 monthly draws, and all you have to do is deposit cash in multiples of 500 Ghana cedis into your Ecobank account at your nearest branch, Ecobank Express Point, or via Ecobank Mobile to stand a chance of winning. Other prizes include fuel vouchers, shopping vouchers, airtime, and many more. Promo runs from now until July the 31st, and it's your time to chop life. Remember, every 500 Ghana cedi deposit earns you an entry into the EMG draw. A better way to enjoy life, a better way, a better Africa. Ecobank, the Pan-African bank. All right. A couple of messages, and then it'll be time for food for thought.
We know say problem day, but you for chop life. Simply deposit cash in multiples of 500 Ghana cedis into your Ecobank account at your nearest branch, Express Point, or through Ecobank Mobile to win your share of over 1 million cedis in prizes in the Ecobank Million Gang promo, EMG. Be one of over 7,000 people to be rewarded. Hey, my God. Yes, so over 7,000 people go chop soft life from May to July 31, 2024. Be an Ecobank customer or be square. Remember, every 500 Ghana cedi deposit earns you a point for the Ecobank Million Gang today, EMG. Deposit today and win your share of 1.2 million in cash and prizes. A better way to enjoy life. A better way. A better Africa. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Let's go planting.
Year in and year out, you've stood with the government for the best cause. Once again, the government of Ghana is calling on you to help Green Ghana under the theme Growing for a Greener Tomorrow. Participate in the planting of 10 million tree seedlings nationwide on 7th June and let's green Ghana for the next generation. The Forestry Commission will make free seedlings available at Vantage Points nationwide. Green Ghana, let's go planting. This campaign is proudly brought to you by the Government of Ghana under the auspices of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Forestry Commission, Ghana Forest Investment Program, National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program for Illegal Mining, Minerals Commission Ghana, and Forest Plantation Development Fund Board.
Let's go planting.
Say donut, 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 donut. Everybody follow not sa malaria. A 3D till no not now. Oh, malaria too. Oh, popo. What mean the day? I want you. No not. A dabako. No not. A damienu. No not. A damiensa. No not. No not. Scatter malaria. Lonat, it scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu hu se malaria wa umojam ansana wanum Lonat. Na nam yensearch na malaria no daso wo hwa ko hu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
Super Morning Show.
All right, well, it's 10 minutes to 8, and it's exactly time for food for thought.
Yes.
Yes, with Uncle Ibo White.
Our favorite uncle.
Yes, indeed. Uncle Ibo, good morning.
Handsome, good morning.
Uncle Ibo, we are a council, so we inherit from our uncles, so I'm just saying. The boys are hungry.
Raymond.
Yes, sir.
Raymond, I call Kojo handsome. You, I'll call brilliant, intelligent.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but if you don't add the handsome, people will think that I lack it.
But you do.
No, of course. No, but the handsome title. There's handsome title on the show I'm giving to Kojo.
Okay.
It's already taken.
Okay,
Yes.
I get you. I mean, I'm not fighting over that.
Are you suggesting that it means me too? I lack intelligence.
No, I've not said that to you. Why are you fighting me? And you can't take all the titles.
Be very careful in that your corner.
Oh,
Uncle, we accept our names.
Yes.
We like them very much.
Yes.
All right. No, I was just going to say that I will do my presentation whilst you guys continue fighting. And then, Kojo, before I go on, let me say good morning to my sister. I've been blessed with a number of siblings, and one of them is Gifty Afenyi Dazi.
Oh.
She was called to the bar last Friday. Auntie Gifty, you've made us all very, very, very proud. And so Angwamo is coming your way. I know that one never gets too old with you.
Oh, okay.
Lovely.
It's also popular in Sicily past home.
Hey. People have insider information.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you, he's intelligent.
Bye.
This morning, I am seriously considering suing my parents, my teachers, my pastors, and all who have had a hand in my upbringing and training for training and conditioning me to be a misfit. I'm afraid that my parents, teachers, pastors, and all those who have had a hand in my upbringing have conditioned me to be a sheep in a world and in an arena where one has to deal with the attacks and aggressiveness of wolves. Let me explain. My parents raised me to be honest. At my naming, as it happens at all Akan naming ceremonies, my infant self was made to taste water and alcohol and told to learn to distinguish between the two. My soul was instructed to know good from evil, black from white, lies from the truth. That was when I was just 8 days old, and the conditioning continued from there. Take a stand for the truth, expose what is wrong and evil, be on the side of good, and stand up against evil. Now I am not a child anymore, and I'm waking up to the realization that in the real world, there is no black and white. There is no wrong and right. There is no good and evil. I'm realizing that, of course, those concepts exist. There is a concept of right and wrong, good and evil, but in the real world, these are not absolutes. It is good to pay lip service to them, but don't take them seriously because it depends on who is talking. I see this demonstrated very much in politics. Corruption, for instance, is relative. It is not corruption if it benefits me and my group or my party. It is not wrong if it benefits me and my friends and my team. It is not wrong if it will make my opponents or the other team look bad, even if I have to resort to lies. It is as if life, or the concept of right and wrong, good and evil, is a game with rules that say that my interest and that of my team justifies any means we can use to get our way. This means that when the position changes, those concepts also change. What is wrong to me today, because I am not in the position to benefit from it, becomes right tomorrow if I am in the position to benefit from it. For instance, is it wrong for a certain public project to cost so much? Well, it depends. If my team and I benefited from the bloated cost for the project, then there is nothing wrong with the cost. If, on the other hand, if my team and I do not benefit from it, then the cause must be condemned. But tomorrow, if we are in the position to benefit from the project's bloated and exaggerated costs, then suddenly it is okay. Well, this is why I have a problem with the way my parents and my teachers and my pastors raised me. They raised me to understand that if it is expensive, it is expensive, whether I stand to gain from it or not. They did me wrong by that training. My parents, teachers, and pastors taught me that if someone misconducts himself, he has misconducted himself and must be called out. In the real world that I am now waking up to, I'm discovering that there's nothing like someone misconducted himself, because it depends on whether that person is on my team or not. If he is on my team, his misconduct did not happen or cannot be classified as a misconduct. And I will defend that position with everything and with every vocabulary at my command and attack those who condemn the misconduct. But if that person is on the other team, then it is my duty to condemn as passionately as possible and show how wrong and how dark that misconduct is and why he should not be allowed to get away with it. And I must do that with all the indignation I can muster and display. And what is alarming me the most is that this situation is not just a Ghanaian thing, it is universal. For instance, in the US, there is a man who has been convicted of 35 felonies, and he is being defended by big names because he is on their team. Big names who have condemned others for less because those were not on their team. When Obama was president, one of the scandals to hit his presidency was that he got down from Marine One and saluted a Marine with a cup of coffee in his hand. Those on the other team exploded with outrage and some even called for his impeachment. And yet, a few years before Obama, President Bush has saluted with his dog in his arms. And that was okay because he was on their team. So it is not just in Ghana where what is wrong and what is right depends on the team making the case and its position as far as power is concerned at the time. So these days, when anything makes news, I wait. I know I do not have the capacity to play the game, and so I listen to the spokespersons of one team and then those of the other team, and I know that if the teams change positions, the arguments would also change teams. And I'm filled with admiration for a group of people who can be so free to bend any situation to their persuasion. And I'm learning not to take any of them seriously because they are not sincere with their arguments. They don't even believe in the arguments they are making. But I admire those who can put a spin on anything and play games with any issue at any time, because I do not have that mental facility to play that game. And I blame my parents and my teachers and my pastors and all those who trained and conditioned me to believe and accept that good is good and wrong is wrong. They have made me a misfit, and they should be banned from training and conditioning any others to be misfits, just as they have made me. What makes the situation serious is that I am not the only one who has been conditioned to be a misfit. Most Ghanaians had my kind of upbringing, and that is why people in public office and politicians generally have it too easy in Ghana. Because you see, we as Ghanaians just don't have what it takes to see through the game that needs our lack of understanding to thrive. My parents, teachers, and pastors taught me to put the interests of Ghana above anything else. They even taught me a song, Ma Omayi Hunhia. Now I am discovering that for powerful people, that is a joke. The more powerful they are, the bigger a joke it is. And my question, for those who have done this to me is this. Why have you made me a misfit? Did you know that what you were teaching me was useless? Or is it that the world has changed? Yes, the times change, but shouldn't certain things and certain values be timeless? You see how much of a misfit I am to even believe in the concept of timeless values. Look, Kojo, I must see my parents and my teachers and my pastors. They have done me great harm by the kind of conditioning they gave me. And Kojo and Raymond, that is my presentation for this morning.
Okay, well, this one, if you sue them successfully, you have to prove damages. But this one, it seems like only virtue.
This is a class action that I'm sure others would like to join.
Papa.
Yes. Because some time ago I wrote about whether or not the mixture indeed inherit the earth.
Yes.
My conclusion was that no, that was a mistake.
And you see, those who live by values and principles are always confused that everybody is not like them. You know, just like Uncle Ebo is saying, I remember former President Rawlings, one of his biggest confusions was that why is he the only one who seems to care? You know, why isn't everybody like him? It's a big source of confusion. It's very hard to understand why we were all raised in the same society, but some people have learned how to switch off the rules just for their personal benefit.
Yeah, and they do it so easily.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot stress enough how much I admire them. I admire them, and I wish I have that mental facility and agility. But unfortunately, I must see my parents, Kojo. I must see my parents.
Okay, but the minute people like you also acquire that ability, we have truly lost. So you are our last line of defense. We beg.
We are completely finished.
We are begging you. We'll settle the matter out of court. We beg.
This is entrapment and an ambush.
Food for thought will return on Thursday with Uncle Ibu White. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. That's thought provoking. All right then. So it's time for the Joy Business Minute, brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you, and Anointed Electricals, the generator experts.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, Anointed Electricals, the generator experts, and Waikari Capital together towards tomorrow. The Bank of Ghana has assured that it is in a strong financial position to conduct its operations. This is despite the 10.5 billion cedi loss recorded last year. Meanwhile, the central bank is attributing the loss recorded last year to the amount of money spent to check inflation by mopping up excess liquidity on the market. The amount of money businesses have set aside for payment of utility tariffs is expected to go up marginally from next year, after the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission announced more than 5% increase in utility tariffs for water and electricity beginning the 1st of July. Elsewhere, European retailers are rushing to place their Christmas orders early as soaring shipping costs and trade route disruption threaten holiday deliveries. And that's the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, Anointed Electricals, the generator experts, and Waikari Capital, together towards tomorrow.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Now, you are the employer looking to recruit top talent. Don't miss this chance to connect with bright and ambitious students and alumni eager to kickstart their careers at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST. They have a career fair coming up, which will be held on June 11th. And I must stress the June 11th because we know.
Yes.
June 11th.
You better be aware.
Yes, seminar June 11th at the KNUST Great Hall from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Reserve your booth now to showcase your organization, your network with potential candidates, and conduct interviews to select the best and the brightest. The fair offers the opportunity to meet other employees and employers and businesses on the grounds too. Employer booths are free as sponsorship packages are available for companies looking to promote their brands. Employers can call 0322 190741 or send an email to admin.careerservices admin.careerservices@knust.edu.gh to reserve your booth. This is a very, very wonderful thing, right? So invite the employers to come and engage the students and get to know which ones they would want going into the future. Yeah. It's something that I recommend all universities take up. But this is happening on the 11th of June.
All right, today on the Super Morning Show, lots and lots of things to talk about. TGMA fallout, obviously, we need to touch on that. Stoneboy emerges the big winner. King Promise seems to be the disappointed party there. Many people very confused about that because they were expecting him to win this time around. Yes. Yeah. We'll talk about that. Also, the show itself, kind of a weird start to the show. It got better later on, but at the beginning, people were wondering what sort of production is this? Well, Charterhouse, known for putting on very good shows, a bit surprising how it all unfolded on Saturday night. Also today, what happened between NPP and NDC in Kasoa? Well, 2 people arrested, 1 person in hospital with stab wounds. How did that happen?
Hopefully this is not replicated across the country. We have come too far to be engaging in this kind of things in an electioneering period. The entire idea of jojoing is to avoid the war.
Indeed. All right, now somebody sent me something. I'm going to read this because it's part of what we're discussing later, okay? This is supposed to be a quote from the very well-known American politician Ben Carson, okay?
Yes,
he was speaking during a national prayer breakfast meeting at the Capitol in 2013. This was sent to me by Kwame Asase, who is in Laboni, okay? Here's the quote. So this is what Ben Carson said. He said, we need doctors, we need scientists, engineers, we need all those people involved in government, not just lawyers. I don't have anything against lawyers, but here's the thing about lawyers. I'm sorry, but I got to be truthful. What do lawyers learn in law school? To win by hook or crook. You gotta win. So you've got all these Democrat lawyers and you've got all these Republican lawyers, and their sides want to win. We need to get rid of that. What we need to start thinking about is how do we solve problems, right? I mean, if almost all of our leaders are going to come from the legal profession, then should we start teaching the lawyers how to solve problems rather than how to just win?
Then I said, thinking about Ghana and leadership, it appears most of us, including myself, they have stopped thinking about practical solutions devoid of politics on the leadership of this country. It does appear, based on data, lawyers form majority and leadership of this country, from membership of parliament to everything. And he proceeds to say all these lawyers and will be lawyers were trained by the Faculty of Law and the Ghana School of Law. In this regard, one way of trying to deliver this country is to see the legal training as the hub of leadership and a tool for changing the destiny of this country. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. I think there is a reflection that's required. What makes it noble? Is it really what we are delivering?
But I have a small minority report, if you like. Even though I do agree with Dennis's point, I have a small caveat. You see, by the time people become lawyers, in fact, let me give you an example.
Or they go to law school.
We just heard that Giftia Fenyidazi has become a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
At quite an advanced age. And congratulations to her for that.
Dream.
Yes, congratulations to her for that. By the time people generally become lawyers, they have gone past the point of shaping their character. They are already whoever they are going to be. So if they are corrupt, they are already corrupt. If they are people who like to pursue their personal gain over public good, that's who they already are. So I feel like whatever skills they learn in law school just help them to be better at who they are. So, for example, at the moment, like Ben Carson says, when you go to law school, you learn how to argue, how to win at all costs. So if you are someone who wants to win for the side of good, that's the kind of lawyer you become. That's the kind of leader you become. If you are someone who wants to win for the side of evil, that's the kind of lawyer you become. That's the kind of leader you become. If you are someone who is corrupt, and then we teach you in law school problem solving, critical thinking, will it not just make you a better criminal? You know, that's another thing to think about.
No, it's interesting, the perspectives there. So we should explore it.
Yes. Use the hashtag JoySMS to tell us what you think about it, because this is a very important conversation. We're having it here on the Super Morning Show on Big Stories, brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies, Latex Foam, your partner for life, and Equity Health Insurance, here for you.
Now picture this: you are lying in bed after a long day seeking comfort and relaxation, but instead you are met with a mattress that sags beneath you, a reminder of shortcuts and compromises. Your comfort and well-being should never have been compromised. That's why we at Latest Foam prioritize quality above all else. Step into our showrooms and experience the difference for yourself. Our high quality mattresses and furniture are crafted with your ultimate relaxation in mind. Picture waking up refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the day. That's the Latest Foam promise. Invest in your well-being. Choose Latest Foam. Otherwise, you they do yourself. Latest Foam is your partner for life. Visit us today and sleep better tonight. Call 0302 231155 or 0322 008499 or visit us online at latestfoamghana.com.
All right, so it's all coming up today on Big Story. Stay with us. We're back after these.
Enhance your business operations with the HP Color LaserJet Pro MFP 423DW printer. You can print, copy, and scan up to 33 pages per minute with high-quality mobile scans or customizable shortcuts in the HP Smart app that delivers effortless use from wherever you work so you can focus on growing your business. Take advantage of its Wi-Fi direct printing and intuitive touchscreen, which are both designed to simplify your day. With the HP LaserJet Pro multifunctional 42003DW printer, experience fast and easy setup and improved overall printing efficiency with a 50,000 page duty cycle. Built to keep you and your business secure and moving forward with an embedded security that is pre-configured out of the box to detect and stop attacks. The HP Color LaserJet Pro MFP 423DW printer is available at all Kompu Ghana stores. Visit KompuGhana.com or call 0302 752020 for more information.
Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
What will a 6% increase in your electricity tariff do to you?
It will make it more expensive for me to actually buy electricity. It means that also any of my dependents who have to buy electricity would also have to demand more from me. Again, it will contribute to inflation, which will mean inflation will go up small. If the inflation also goes up, we are also going to suffer generally, an indication that we are suffering, which will have a cascaded effect. The Bank of Ghana will make more losses trying to tame down inflation at the end of the day. So it is a compendium of factors, and it has impact on several other quarters. But personally, it will be higher cost of living. Let's not kid about that. It will be higher cost of living. It may mean that instead of, when the weather is hot, luckily nowadays it's been raining, so, instead of always putting on the air conditioner at night, you time it. You wait to put it on at 12 midnight. So when you sleep, then you quickly put it off when you wake up again. It might also mean that instead of putting it around anywhere other place, you regulate power in your home. Efficiency and other cost-saving measures will have to be deployed. But the painful part is that this is still happening at a time that we are having serious power problems. And I know somebody who lives around Wager. In the last 4 days, every single night, there's not been power in the home. In fact, this is the message I got. I say, for the last 4 nights, you've been sleeping in darkness. If you ask such a person to pay more, it doesn't make sense on the face of it. Poor service, and I'm paying more for it. It's almost as if I'm being punished double for the same thing, and that should not be justified at all. And of course, somebody's also been without power since yesterday morning, and you want to increase the cost of having no power since that particular time, and that mentality makes it difficult to accept it. We know that you discussed with the IMF that we're going to be consistent with the reviews, but it should be targeted. The more we pay for it, the better service we should get. It happens in every other sector. Why can't it happen with what they call it, power service delivery?
Exactly.
Is it because you have monopolized the system? So whether you like it or not, it is the same power sector that we are relying on. And every day they'll tell a story. Recently they said they was doing so because they could not buy fuel. But you think about it, you've increased the cost for more than 100%. And you say you cannot buy fuel. So when you take my money, what do you use it for? That thing, I mean, I agree that some people don't pay, which is a problem. But why should I be punished for somebody's incompetence? Why should somebody's business be mine? If we all decide not to pay, how are you going to get the results? Because it appears those who are not paying are being made to feel like they are doing the right thing. But me doing the right thing, I'm actually suffering like any other person. So if there is no guarantee that I'll have power supply, why am I then being consistently forced to pay beyond the allowed Ghana parts? What is the what is the good to me personally?
Yeah. And that amount, you see, 6%, you might think it's nothing, but actually thinking about it, for me, in my 3-bedroom house with a study attached, that 6% represents 180 cedis a month. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. Okay, so and I mean, there are some people who pay electricity bills in more than one location. For them, this is even a bigger headache. So even the small increments have big exponential effects on everybody's pocket, and of course, it will affect the cost of everything. I mean, imagine you're running a cold store, right? And they say 6% increase in electricity tariffs, or immediately your calculations, yield some serious extra cost of production. And who is going to pay that if not the customer? So it's some way. All right. Also today, in addition to this, we are also going to talk about TGMAs. And what was your prediction? I mean, you live in a house where showbiz information flies around. Like how house flies fly around somebody else's house.
Frankly, I was told that generally many people in the Republic were jeering for a possible King promised win. Then apparently the promises did not align with the win.
Yes.
So people are not happy with the outcome. Some say it's stolen verdict. Some say it is an unfair verdict. And if I could read what Kwame Jan wrote after the first performance, you would like it. He says, after the performance, Kwame Jan basically was not happy with the performance. Hey, this cannot be performance that wins Artist of the Year. No. This is not Artist of the Year kind of performance. But I think people have raised other matters. They have raised the songs that are being sung within the period and the consideration and the factors that are required within that space too. I suspect that there will be a justified reason why it will go one way or the other. I do not think that there will be kululu in the system. You remember the time that Patapa lost someone? He was very angry.
Oh, yes.
Then he said most popular song. He said he didn't understand why some other song by Fancy Gadam was
one corner
chosen. He says
was in every corner.
No. And he switched languages in the presentation to make his point quite clear that he was not a happy man at all.
Yes.
So, I mean, listen, nobody is happy losing something. But if there are justified reasons why you should not be given, maybe next time.
So that's part of what we want to understand, okay?
How we got where we are.
Yes, because I'll give you an example. Record of the Year. Right? Record of the Year was won by a song by Stoneboy that I've never heard before. It's Stoneboy featuring Angelique Kidjo.
Oh, it's apparently a very nice song.
That's what I hear. That it's a nice song.
Manoji,
but I haven't heard it before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. So, I mean, it could be. Yes.
So the question is this. I mean, nice as it may be, would a record of the year not go to a song that has more exposure and appeal, that people know more, that has more sort of top of mind awareness? Is that not the sort of song that would qualify for record of the year? I mean, Abuna Call Me Later was everywhere, was it not?
Yeah. Yes, I want to believe so, but let's benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
There's a criteria they set for themselves. If there's a deviation from that criteria, then that's worth engaging. But if it is in tandem and consistent with the criteria they set for themselves, I really think that, I mean, I am also worried about the complaints about how the event went and all the other things. Okay, so this is exactly what Kwame Jan wrote. This be the artist some people won't we say should be handed the artist of the year.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah, it looks like
the performance was all over the place.
Yeah.
Some way.
In
Something
fact,
went wrong.
I saw Standubi equally unhappy with how the event performances and some of the other things were done. And the big question is, after 25 years, some standard and expertise and competence is expected to be brought to bear. And if that is lacking, is there a reflection of general industry standards, or it's a slight improvement, but not to the taste and the preference of people who have seen other things happen elsewhere properly? Yeah.
So I hear this is the song that I haven't heard before. It's Stonebwoy featuring Angelique Kidjo, Manoji.
Mama, baby,
And I've got some education that this is actually a technical category. So it's not like by popular choice. It's one that is chosen by the panelists, okay? And so they have technical criteria for choosing it. It's not about the most popular song. And I must confess, it's a lovely song. I'm learning that it was first performed by Angelique Kidjo and Stonebwoy when Angelique Kidjo was celebrating her 40th year in music and invited Stonebwoy to perform it with her on stage at the Royal Albert Hall. It was a big event and they got a great response, and the song is quite nice. Very nice. Stoneboy has had a busy year. Let's be fair. He's had a very busy year, lots of international exposure, and he has indeed released a record. I don't know. But let's be fair to him. He's been working hard. Okay. So it's not like someone who doesn't deserve it won. It's just that people kind of expected a certain other outcome, and it didn't go that way, right? Yeah. Anyway, we'll be talking a bit more about that later as soon as we have the chance. But right now, let's get ready to talk about lawyers. They're running this country. But how are they doing it? Do we need to tweak their training in order to get better outcomes as a nation? We'll talk about it when we come back from these.
Happy Monday and welcome to Vital Signs by Sonotech Medical Center. I'm Dr. Grace Bachman. This month of June, we'll explore some aspects of blood donation ahead of the World Blood Donor Day on 14 June. Blood donation is a simple life-saving act where you can give some of your blood to help someone in need. Just think about it. One donation can save up to 3 lives. How amazing is that? So how does it work? It's easy. You visit a blood donation center, then you sit back and relax whilst your blood is collected, about a pint of blood. The whole process takes about 10 minutes. Your blood is then tested, separated into different components like red cells, plasma, and platelets, and stored safely until it's needed. And guess what? Your body quickly replaces the donated blood, so you'll be back to normal in no time, and you get the satisfaction of knowing that you made a real difference in someone's life. Call Sonotech on 0242 439 467.
The Ghana Chamber of Mines with Events and Projects International and DMG of South Africa present the West African Mining and Power Conference and Exhibition WAMPEX from 5th to the 7th of June 2024 at the Grand Arena and the Accra International Conference Center. The theme for our 17th edition is the Mining and Power Hub, driving sustainability investment opportunities in West Africa. Join us to network with over 100 exhibitors and 2,500 attendees on a variety of innovative mining and power solutions from around the world. Headline sponsor Mark Partners Group. Main sponsors Newmont, Anglo Gold Ashanti, B5 Plus, Cummings. Financial partners Stanbic. Other sponsors include Rand Refinery, FL Smith, Atlantic Lithium, Protea Coin Ghana, and Bank Hospital. To register, sponsor, and advertise, visit wampok.org or check out our social media platforms. #Wampok WAMPEX24.
EMY Africa presents the EMY Africa Expo 2024 from the 14th to the 16th of June at the Accra International Conference Center. An exciting 3-day premium expo showcasing businesses, products, and services together with integrated consumer experiences and entertainment options. Prepare to encounter a weekend-long extravaganza that caters to every desire and necessity of the modern person, from sports to food, beverages to travel, automobiles to arts and culture, health to fashion, and everything in between. Booths are available for prospect vendors to showcase and sell their products and services. Take advantage of the ample opportunities for networking and business expansion. Visit emyafrica.com to register and secure your booth now. Call 020-201-8870. Email sales@emyafrica.com. The EMY Africa Expo, a premium marketplace.
Hey, welcome back to work.
Charlie, thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
Malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Hey, fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and fufu?
How we go do it?
I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Oh, yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
Sharp. Anyway, sorry to ruin your excitement, but your boss asked of you.
Okay.
She says she has plenty work for you.
No problem, Charlie. Strength day.
You see,
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing Artemether and Lumefantrine. Comes in tablet and suspension for the effective treatment of malaria in adults and children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malatu is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Everyone is running to Bills. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes with acquiring any of our loan facilities. For whoever you are and whatever you're doing, Bills has a product for you. No susu, no deposits. All you need is your Ghana card. Call 0302 200 390 or 0596 928 today and live a bill-free life. Bills Microcredit is licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
Introducing Lily Sunflower Oil, enriched with vitamin A and available in convenient sizes. Go to the nearest supermarket or neighborhood shop today to buy your half liter, 1 liter, 1.8 liter, 3 liter, and 5 liters of Lily Sunflower Oil. Lily Sunflower Oil, the chef's choice. Lily, tasty food, happy family.
This advert is FDA approved.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
Welcome back. It's 8:30. It's time for us to ask some very big existential questions about leadership in Ghana. It's quite clear that so many of the leaders in this country are lawyers. Quite clear. So if as a nation we insist on choosing lawyers as our leaders, then should we have a second look at how we train lawyers? Yes, is there something about the way we train them that makes us end up with the kind of leaders we have, which clearly are not doing what we need them to do to move this country to where it needs to be? Let's talk about it. This is all sparked by an article written by Dennis J. Jomo. He's the managing partner of Law Plus. He's an attorney at law and a former lecturer at the Gimpa Law School, as well as Central University's Faculty of Law. He joins us actually on the phone. Dennis, what a pleasure. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. How are you doing?
Always good, and thank you so much for making the time.
And good morning to
us.
Raymond on his sartorial look when they went to greet the king.
Hey, you saw him, eh? Raymond will always dress up nicely for a little bit of, boys shenanigans. Anyway, before we get into it with Dennis, Raymond, you have the article that Dennis wrote, right? Give us the gist of what he says.
So it says it does appear based on data, lawyers and will-be lawyers form majority of leadership of this country, from members of parliament to chief executives and also CEOs. And it proceeds to say that they were trained by the Faculty of Law and the Ghana School of Law. In this regard, one way of trying to deliver this country is to see the legal training as the hub of leadership and a tool for changing the destiny of this country. The content of the training of the law student is mostly bereft of critical thinking, learning, or solution-oriented training. They are made to believe that critical thinking and finding solution will be gathered from reading cases and statutes, or what he calls pure law. He believes that the legal education in Ghana should not be restricted to what he calls pure law without any attention to justice, leadership, history, and solving the Ghana problem. And he's asking how many books on justice or leadership are law students made to read, how many books on critical thinking are law students made to read. And if we confirm that the thinking of the Ghanaian is that a political leader must be a lawyer, how do we get them to read on history, leadership, and public policy solutions as part of their training? And he says gradually the Ghanaian law student is a PowerPoint student, solving past questions students. A lecturer who has no PowerPoint is seen to be odd. And from his experience, the most difficult question will be, what do you think? As in, the law students know that the solution may sometimes not be in the precedents, but in carving out a solution outside the precedents, which may not be in pure, but in ingenious African custom, or a proverb carved from out of the law. Legal education should go beyond pure law. Reform of legal education can be a tool to change this country for the better.
Interesting. Now, Dennis, I was thinking about this last night. I realized that, look, the reality of how lawyers are trained is that you are taught to unshackle yourself from moral anchors. Okay, so you can argue one position today and argue the opposite tomorrow with equal fervor. That is your training. You are trained to do this.
Now, of course, once you become a politician, this becomes a wonderful tool, so that you can, you can flip flop however you want to defend whichever position is appropriate or is convenient at the time. You are saying that we should buck this trend and stop training lawyers to be sharks and teach them to be what instead? Fishermen?
So Kojo, it's your position that lawyers are. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Your position that lawyers are trained to be sharks is mostly incorrect. It's about how the people view lawyers based on how we see lawyers more or less being involved in drama, among other things. But remember that one of the core requirements of being a lawyer is that you must be of good character. And if you look at our qualification requirement, if you are not of good character, you will not be called to the bar. And so there is also a perception that the people have, and some of them is based on cultural aspects, which lawyers do not have control. Once one become a lawyer, the society raises you a certain level that you are not. Okay, we defer our reasoning and think that the lawyer has a more superior reasoning, which mostly, we will say we will refer to ourselves as very learned and understand the position. So it's not that lawyers have been trained to be sharks, but lawyers have been trained to use their training tool to solve legal cases. So if the matter does not resolve in terms of legal case, the traditional lawyer's training is about an issue coming up, looking at the precedent, looking at the rules, and solving the personal problem of the case before the court. But if the of Ghana are not, all of them are not in court, how do we continue?
Wait, have we lost Dennis? Hello? Right, I think we need to reconnect with Dennis there. Very important point he's making there about the characteristics of legal training and what sort of outcomes are sought.
This is a message a lawyer sent to me. He said, talking about lawyers, here's one of the principles of law quoted by a former Supreme Court judge. In law, the truth does not matter as long as it cannot be tendered as evidence in a case. This is why some lawyers who have no conscience can argue in a case where it's obvious they are lying through their teeth. That's what he said. Of course, the reference to the cases in which Mensabos was charged with contempt of court for saying Sijaban lied in his for saying that Sijaban lied in his submission in a case. That's what he was referencing anyway.
Right. Oh, that's an interesting perspective there. I think we need to reconnect with Dennis there. But the reason why I asked him that question is partly what you read. Okay, that the training of a lawyer is that you have certain rules by which you can win a case. There are certain rules. It's not about being a good person. That's irrelevant. It's about playing. It's a game of chess with rules, right? It's about making the right moves with the tools you have in order to emerge victorious. It completely sets aside any concept of right and wrong. It's about positions. Which position prevails? Which argument, is superior? It's not about who is right and who is wrong, who is a sinner and who is a saint. Which argument is superior? So the training of a lawyer is to make the superior argument, not to do the right thing necessarily. Dennis joins us again. Thank you for your patience, Dennis. You were making an important point before the break about the nature of legal training and what lawyers are designed to do. Please continue.
Okay, so the point I was making is that the most superior argument may not be the most popular argument. Okay, and lawyer is, because remember that the same is not the same unless the same itself. And the training of lawyers, and understandably, is to be using the tools of lawyering to protect the interests of a client or to uphold justice. But this may not necessarily be a solution for the state. And I make this point because if you look at the data, there are three arms of government. The judiciary, understandably, is made up of lawyers. we have currently over about 479 judges within our judiciary. Majority have apart from the career magistrate, all of them have a legal background.
Right.
If you look at the executive, your president is a lawyer. If you look at your legislature, your speaker of parliament, the two deputies are lawyers. Your ministers are lawyers. Now, and it comes back to our understanding of even democracy. We refer to democracy as kebimamin kebi. Talk, make, I talk. If the understanding of the Ghanaian democracy is about we talking, who best is placed to talk better than a lawyer? And I urge you to consider this. How many of our mates who did brilliant science and math quiz or national science and math quiz, who by the Ghanaian definition of being very sharp ended up in leadership in this country? You can ask yourself, those who went for brilliant science and math quiz during your school time, the 2 or 3 people who represented the school, who were first in the whole school, where are they now?
Yeah.
Because the nature of it is also not necessarily that because lawyers are the ones but lawyers are the ones who offer themselves for leadership. Because the medical doctor, the engineer, he looks at the system and thinks that, you know what, I don't think I'll have time for this, or I don't think that maybe I have the spirit of numbness to be able to understand or feel what the Ghanaian goes through, or the system is too tough, or the system may not favor me, or I don't have the ingredients or level of trickery put to be able to go around the ordinary Ghanaian, because the demands that ordinary Ghanaian puts on leadership in this country sometimes is amazing and mind-boggling. So, if we have come to the conclusion, as we sit now, majority of leadership is from lawyer, and to the extent that when you have your full-time minister going to a full-time law school, because he has acknowledged that having a lawyer as a tool will help me to become a better minister. When you have a full-time CEO going to full-time law school, it tells you that he thinks being a lawyer will help me as a tool to become. When you have a full-time journalist spending time going to law school or being at the law faculty, he or she understands that being a lawyer will help me better my craft as a journalist. And eventually, we have a situation where lawyers are the most confident to offer themselves for leadership. But how do we, if that is the case, how do we ensure that in the training of the lawyer, we also let him understand that he is not just going to solve people's personal problems, he's not just going to solve people's commercial problems, but it's possible that throughout his training, there will be a zeal to serve the nation. And if it's time to serve the nation, how have we equipped him to be in a position to serve the nation? And sometimes, through no fault of theirs, you may not have a clue on how to solve the problems of the nation. You may have a clue of how to solve your family problem, but not the problem of the country. And so, if we come to the conclusion that majority, as we speak now, till we change the structure of the economy, we change our structure of the democracy that we have, it will appear that lawyers will continue to dominate leadership and public leadership of this country. So, in that regard, can we use it as a tool so that at the law faculty, we can say that there is a core requirement, okay, where lawyers are made to take on public leadership, not just leadership per se, on public leadership. There are certain people who may be fantastic corporate leadership, but with terrible public leaders. And we look at it, what will make us better in terms of public leader? How can we bring in new courses that the state wants to go? AI is coming. How does AI impact constitutional law? How does AI impact criminal law? And among the way deep fake is coming, where I can just take your picture and make a whole voice around you and make it so that you're answering the speakers. New developments are coming. How do we prepare the lawyer in leadership to understand it? Because if you ask your friends who are ministers, 80% of their time are made to receive visitors. 80%. You go to a minister's office, full time he's receiving visitors. He doesn't have time to even read. And that is a question that we have to. We have a democracy where you have to pay delegates before you can become elected. So before you even come to power, you are engaged in electoral practices before you can get into leadership of this country. So how do we get, if we consider the data shows that majority of them are lawyers, or even those non-lawyers are having a lifelong dream of becoming lawyers, and they think that lawyers can be the tool to solve the problem of this country, how best can we prepare them so that till it changes, and I wonder when it will change, at least before one becomes a leader in this country, you can be able to solve it. Because solving problems of this country is about who can shout most. We are discussing problems of this country based on the people who shouted most. If Kasoa people are shouting most and the proximity to power in Accra, we'll pay attention to it. But who has been in curfew for the past almost 30 years? What have we done about it?
Yeah.
And I think that we're coming back to say that lawyers are producing the leadership of the country. And just about the institutions that produces university students for the past 20 years have not changed. If you're Augustins, it's in Fansipim, it's Sopokwa, it's Prempe, these are the dominant schools. So if we see that leaders of this country are going to come from these schools, how do we help them? How do we say that, in universities, we know that the TESCON and the TAIN and the FRC president will end up being the leaders of political leaders? How do we ensure that we have leadership institute to ensure that before you can become a student leader, till you qualify or you have done these number of courses on leadership, on training, we will not allow you to participate in the election of SRs or TAIN, so that at least the people will be philosophical and understand why they are in leadership. Right. For now, I think being in the classroom and out of the classroom, interacting with young men, I think we need to go back to the drawing board and not talk ourselves into development, but rather work our way into development.
Right. If you just joined us, we're talking to Dennis Ajejomo. He's the managing partner of Law Plus, former lecturer at the Gimpa Law School and the Central University Faculty of Law. We're talking about lawyers. They make up the majority of our leaders in this country in public office. And we're wondering, is there something we need to do about their training to make them serve those roles better for the benefit of our state? That's what we're discussing with Dennis. Now, Dennis, so what would you physically change about the way we train lawyers? What you talked about introducing, courses on, say, problem solving or critical thinking or justice. What would these courses entail? What are the specific concepts you would want to introduce into a lawyer's training to make them better public leaders?
Key things I think we have to, and this proposal is a bespoke proposal for Ghana. It may not apply to other countries. I think that we need to look at how we can introduce elective or course subjects, because remember that ordinarily when people get into schools, they want to pass the exams. How do we move the mind of the person from passing exams to being demolded in its entirety? And I believe there is a need to bring in courses, in my opinion, where people are being trained on, first of all, public leadership, public service, as a course itself. Okay? And this must become core. And the requirement of a lawyer being of good character should not just be left for the law school for profession, but how do we bring ethics training and into the training of the Faculty of Law? And I can tell you that Ashasi has taken the lead when it comes to leadership and ethics. It's a major part of their training in the university. So in the University of Ghana or law faculty in KNUS, now there are about 13 Faculty of Law. Ethics has to be taught. Being of good character has to be taught. Public leadership as well as private leadership has to be made part of the training. And most importantly, how do we also train them on new things that are coming up? And so by the time that you're in law school, we may want you to choose a course not just on law. You may be made to take a course on economics, a course on technology, a course on new development of how we see the world changing, on geopolitics. Because remember that if he comes into politics, he's made a minister for foreign affairs. I think that he should understand geopolitics. And these are the things that we think, I think can be brought in to help the law students. So I get and remember that the core courses that enables an LLB holder to enter law school has been defined in statute. And it's the same criminal law, civil law for the past, since 1960 has been the same. We added 3 additional courses to it. But the General Legal Counsel, which is in charge of legal education, do have the power to add some of these things to it. And most importantly, I think that we should not allow our law students to be relying solely on past questions and solely on PowerPoint, but engage them into critical thinking in terms of how they deal with matters beyond just the law to social problem that we have to solve.
So, Dennis, I raised the question earlier. I wonder what your take will be on it. You know, by the time a person enters law school, they're an adult, almost without exception. They are all adults. At which means they've already formed their personal
What is your
characters.
definition of adult, by the way?
Oh, I'm saying anyone above 18 is an adult.
Okay.
So yeah, almost without exception, by the time anyone enters law school, they are an adult, which means they have formed their characters already. You know, so if somebody is is corrupt, they are already corrupt by the time they get into law school. Which means that whatever tools they acquire in law school will just make them better at whoever they are. So if you're corrupt and you go to law school and you learn critical thinking, it'll just make you a better criminal, won't it?
I think you may be. I think that's an idiosyncrasy that is based on maybe your personal biases. And I'll give you a practical example. Whenever we went to I think that in this country, the critical time of forming the character and what determines whether you succeed or not is not at the university, but at the secondary school level.
Yeah.
Now, the class that was the most stubborn during your time, Kojo, in Augustine, I can tell you that if you go to Augustine today, it will be the same class. And it's amazing how cosmic, the mystic world makes it. If you go to one dormitory from time immemorial, it may be and I cast your mind back. In secondary school, there are certain dormitories or houses that had the stubborn people. If you go there today, you still have the same stubborn people. However, there was one gatekeeper of a master or a lecturer or Roman father who kept the gate of discipline. And certain people were molded to change while they were in secondary school. So I think that there's a possibility of change. There are certain people who have attempted the law and realized that law was not for them and they left. So I get the point that, certain characters may have been formed. However, certain characters may also be molded to see the other side of the argument and to see the other side of the conversation. And my view is that whether we like it or not, whether it's bad character or they have been molded, as a fact, lawyers are going to be in charge of the leadership of this country because maybe engineers and doctors are not offering themselves as much as lawyers are doing. In that regard, we cannot throw our hands in despair, but at least imbibing them leadership and discipline, even sense of timing, respecting time. Kojo, the biggest problem we are having in this country, even artisans, people with ethics, it's not about just lawyers away, but the entire country have an ethical problem. Tailors are not showing on time. People are not coming to programs on time. People are late for it. The bigger issue of transportation. So I think that if you are able to get your leaders to understand these ethical values, these things imbibe in them, in a nutshell, they can be able to impact it on other people or even understand how to solve this problem, than to talk our way into solving problems instead of solving the problem itself. So I get your point. However, the character of the people can be molded, and it depends on imbibing in them. You are what you are because some of the characters was involved in you from the beginning. You wake up in the morning and pray. We're not born praying because your mother insisted that you have to pray. There are certain conduct that you do, and everybody will ask you, is this person actually go to a Catholic school? I'm yet to meet somebody who went to a Catholic school and cannot say a basic prayer because you are made to pray all the time. And that character, whether you are bad or not, once you go to a Catholic school, at least you'll be able to say a prayer which may be short but still impactful.
Yeah. So so you're sure that we are not introducing these principles at the wrong time in their training? I ask this because when I did my first degree, and we were taught something called communication skills, which contained literally everything I should have known before I wrote O-levels or A-levels. Everything about how to write an essay, how to compose a document, how to write a letter, all of those basic communication skills that I needed to answer, to properly express myself at the earlier stage of my education were taught me at university. And guess what? 80% of those I sat in class with have forgotten what they were taught in communication skills because they only did it as a credit that they couldn't avoid, not because they were learning skills that they thought they would need in life. So today you have people in professional roles who still don't know how to write letters, who still don't know how to compose reports, even though they spent hours in a lecture theater being taught. So I'm wondering, does this not suggest that even though you are right that we need to teach the right things to future leaders, that we need to be catching them perhaps younger?
I agree with you, but you see, the Ghana problem is a bigger problem. So by the time you look at such a huge problem, you may not even know how to start it. I'm looking at what I call the low-hanging fruit that we can type to make impact. And just to support your position, for instance, when we were in primary school, we were made to say the national pledge and the national anthem on a daily basis.
Yeah.
On a day, every morning at assembly, you sing it, and you got that the patriotic song was sung at the time that you didn't even understand what it meant to be patriotic. When we went to secondary school, it reduced to 1 or 2. University, we never said it until you went for matriculation or graduating. That's when we played. So it is not surprising that at the time of your formation, that now you understand what it means of patriotic nationalism. All the things that were imbibed in you left you because the system were not trained to keep it up with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get the Ghana problem. I get that it should have been introduced earlier. It should have been made to have been done earlier. However, it's a bigger problem that we'll discuss. Maybe we'll try and solve it one way or the other. But that notwithstanding, we know that based on the data, all our leaders pass through this place. Based on the data, we know the sharp, brilliant science and math students who make it topmost pass through the schools, the PURC, the Prempe, the Pokua. That's the schools that they go to. So how, if we want scientists to be developed in this country, where can we get them? You can get them at PURC, you can get them at St. Augustine. So how do we ensure that if we want scientists who will be willing to patent and be able to grow the economy, how do we have a special program? And PURC is leading in terms of brilliant science of math schools because they have special programs for special people who are doing the brilliant science of math schools. It's not because PURC just allow the people to engage themselves. So PURC has taught the way that when you want to win brilliant science and math, and same for St. Augustine, people are building special centers. All boys are contributing and making sure that they are trained specially for that examination. Now, if that is the regard, if lawyers are supposed to train to solve the problem, what labs of leadership are we building to solve it? If we know that the SRC president will eventually become a politician, if we know that the Commonwealth president will eventually become a politician, what labs are we building, leadership labs are we building at the universities to ensure that before you even get into student leadership, you actually even understand how to keep books, keeping basic finances, understand the procurement law, understand the public financial administration laws of this country. So we have done those models in a smaller fashion with brilliant science and math schools to make sure that certain schools win at the end of the day. And I'm saying, for the Ghana approach, why don't we use the faculty of law at the various centers, get the Institute of Leadership to say that, you know what, we think the law faculty are going to produce leaders for the next 100 years. How do we imbibe in them and get them to study it on a daily basis before they use, so that when they get into public space, they can be able to make an effective determination and save the soul of this country?
Now, let me ask about what you think will happen if nothing changes. We have younger and younger people making their way into law school. We have the new generation also making their way into the profession. Gen Zs are coming along, and we know the general concerns that older generations have about Gen Zs. And by the way, this has always been the case. The older generation is always worried about the younger ones. But currently, that's what's happening. Everybody is concerned about this lack of a fear of consequences that the new generation seems to have. How social media is shaping their thinking, where everybody considers themselves to be a brand. How outward appearance has become more important than inner substance. All of these worries that are raised about the new generation. So how do you perceive lawyers from this generation will actually be when they also end up taking up the mantle of leadership?
First of all, it's only in Ghana that a 50-year-old man is still considered a young man. Okay? Let's be real and tell the old leadership the truth, that they have disappointed this country. look at what we have been through as a people and the benefit that the young generation, how old were these so-called old generation when they became ministers in the older in the far when Ghana became independent? Okay, so if we do not have practical measures of trying to imbibe leadership and potential people who want to offer themselves for leadership, we will be worse off than we are. And bear in mind, we do not go to law school to try, in terms of the mentality of people who enter law school like myself, to try and solve the problem of the society. We enter law school to solve our personal problems. That is how come your parents took you to the school, to solve your personal problem and to solve the problem of your family. But in the course of that training, you realize that there is a sense of nationalism. You can offer yourself for leadership. And I can tell you, at every law faculty, majority of people who are students over there are students who were student leaders at the SDA, were school prefects, at the dining hall prefects, and most of them end up in the law faculty. So the lawyering has been seen as a tool that are meant for leaders. So no matter how it is, it will be like, but I'm saying that if we do not solve it by practical measures, putting in courses, making these courses a core requirement, and ensuring that if you do not pass these courses, you cannot enter law school, or if you do not pass these courses, you cannot become a lawyer. Any course that is made a core requirement, I can tell you, students study it and study it better. And it also requires for those of us who are also instructors in the course, or new instructors will be brought, also know that the people that are before me are potential members of parliament. I am in a class where I have about 5 members, 5 of my colleagues are members of parliament on both sides. So if we do not do it, it will be not preparing leaders to solve the problems of the country than personal problems. And through no fault of theirs, because if you know the amount of pressure that society puts on these our leaders on a daily basis, ask any politician friend that you have, on a weekly basis, they spend not less than 5,000 to 10,000 or more transferring to people. And so if we want to change, and we are quick to bring in Singapore, we are quick to bring in China, we are quick to bring in all these leaders, even Rwanda of late, it's because we took the bull by the horn, put in certain measures that make people uncomfortable, and decided to solve it. And I think that when we start having a conversation that we think we need to go beyond the law and see preparing the lawyer for leadership, just as we are preparing scientists for leadership. If that does not happen, and apart from the lawyers, how do we get scientists to also be interested in the leadership of this country? How do we get scientists to be engineers who solve problems, scientists who have more patents in solving problems, to be interested in leadership? And I believe when we have conversations with the scientists, they may tell us why they are not interested and why lawyers are interested. And I'm saying that once the data shows lawyers are interested, let's solve the lawyer problem. And when the scientists become interested in putting themselves out, we can find measures or programs to get them interested in leadership. Otherwise, I believe it will still be the same.
This is thought-provoking, Dennis. I want to thank you for your time with us this morning and giving us something to really mull over regarding the quality of leadership that we can produce in the future. Dennis Ajejomo is a managing partner of Law Plus, attorney at law, former lecturer at the Gimpa Law School and Central University Faculty of Law. Thanks once again, Dennis. All right, well, we've got bills to pay, including electricity bills, which are going up by 6%. We'll talk about it after these.
Hello. We've all been there doing something dangerous to our teeth and suffering the consequences. Now, in that moment, you wish you hadn't, right? It's another episode of Time with the Dentist. I'm your dentist, Dr. Gwendolyn Amakwe Baiche, and this program is sponsored by Pepsodent in partnership with Ghana Dental Association. Today, let's talk about a few of the things that we do to our teeth and subject our mouth to that are harmful. Some of these habits have been with us for so long that they have become a part of us. But there's no habit that you cannot break if you put your mind to it. The first is smoking. Smoking cigarette. Many of you, I'm sure, are aware of the harmful effect smoking cigarettes can have on the general health. But what you also need to know is that smoking is one of the most destructive habits for your oral health. It is one of the major causes of bad breath and teeth discoloration due to the tar and nicotine present in it, and also the increased buildup of tartar and plaque that it causes. Other effects on your oral health include gum disease, which progresses faster in smokers compared to non-smokers. And we all know by now that gum disease can lead to tooth loss. Nicotine in cigarettes reduces the flow of blood to tissues of the mouth, and good blood flow is needed for healing following surgical procedures, like when you have your tooth taken out. So in effect, smoking can delay healing in the mouth. There can also be loss of density of the jawbone, inflammation of the salivary glands, which will lead to decrease in salivation. And very soon we will learn the importance of saliva to our oral health. Lastly, smokers are more at risk of developing oral cancer. To those of us who smoke, it certainly can't be an easy habit to quit. But with the necessary help, you can. Don't wait until it's too late. The second poor habit is the use of our teeth as tools. Whether opening bottles with our teeth, ripping packages, cutting fabrics, or holding objects with our teeth, you are putting yourself at risk of cracking, chipping your teeth, or even injuring your gums. Especially to our tailors and dressmakers, fisher folks, carpenters, who tend to use the teeth as tools at work. Let's do well to put a stop to the habit. Our dear mechanics who use their mouth to siphon fuel from car tanks using rubber tube, you're exposing your mouth, including your teeth, to very toxic substance, which can erode the tooth surface. Accidentally swallowing or aspirating the substance can also be very harmful to other parts of your body. The last poor habit I would like to talk about is brushing your teeth too hard, and especially with a hard bristled toothbrush. While we encourage you to brush your teeth often, please use a soft to medium bristled toothbrush, like the Pepsodent toothbrushes. These are gentle on your teeth and gums and are also able to clean hard to reach areas of the mouth. Let's stop brushing aggressively. This list is not exhaustive. There are others, like crushing ice with the teeth, biting your nails, and grinding the teeth. Tooth discoloration is when the perceived color of the tooth looks deviated from normal. And what is normal? So the teeth typically are very white in very young children, off-white in adults, and whitish yellow as you age. When you use your teeth as openers, you can crack or chip your tooth. This can affect your smile. Your teeth will look unaesthetic, it could feel sensitive, and depending on how bad the chip is, you could even feel pain and eventually lose your tooth. Bad habits are not easy to break, but can be broken. Let's put in every effort to stop these poor oral habits. Remember to always brush your teeth twice daily with a fluoride toothpaste like Pepsodent, and visit the dentist regularly. Your teeth will thank you. This campaign is proudly brought to you by Pepsodent in partnership with Ghana Dental Association.
Action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town. It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
says they are going to increase the tariffs by almost 6%. What does this mean? What went into the calculation? Why 6%, right? And what's the breakdown of it? We also want to know whether this will have an impact on the sector, and why we keep having to pay more when in reality the service is not improving. To help us have this discussion, Dr. Eric Obute is the Director of Research and Corporate Affairs at PURC. He joins us over the phone, alongside Ben Boache, who is Executive Director of Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, to you and I. Gentlemen, good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning, Kojo. Thanks for having us.
All right. Now, Ray, just before we hear from our guests, a quick summary of what the statement says from PURC.
So the sector regulator, PURC, has announced a 3.45% increase in electricity tariff for lifeline consumers, 0 to 30 kilowatt per hour. Now, an increase of 5.84% are to be incurred by all the other residential electricity consumers who are not part of the lifeline category, as in those above 31, as well as the non-residential category. For those in the industrial category, the Commission has sanctioned a 4.92% increase for electricity consumers effective July 1, 2024. Of course, I'm sure by now those of you have also heard the water part. Now, the PURC says these reviews are undertaken to maintain the real value of the tariffs, thereby keeping the utility service providers financially viable to enable them deliver on their services to consumers. That's what the Commission noted. The Commission also explained that the decision to increase electricity and water tariffs for the period under review tracked and incorporated movements in key uncontrollable factors. The factors were the exchange rate between the US dollar and the Ghana cedi, domestic inflation rate, the electricity generation mix, and the cost of fuel, mainly natural gas. So these key factors, Kojo: 1, the exchange rate; 2, domestic inflationary change, and also the electricity generation mix and the cost of fuel, especially when it comes to natural gas. The Commission also said it considered the competitiveness of industries and the general living conditions of the Ghanaian before arriving at the new increment in tariff. The sector regulator stated that during the period under review, there was no change in the generation mix between hydro and thermal mix. The weighted average cost of gas increased, and from, of course, by 5.23%. However, the cedi depreciated against the dollar by 20.8% between the first and second quarters of the year, moving from 12 cedi in the first quarter to 14.6584 in the second quarter. Inflation eased marginally from 28% to 24% in the second quarter, the Commission has observed. During the first quarter review, there was no change in electricity tariff for lifeline consumers, and an average reduction of 6.5 within the consumption bracket for the 301 kilowatt per hour and above that group. Right. So essentially, that's what they said.
Okay, so perhaps we'll start with you, Dr. Obute. Help us understand what exactly informed the just under 6% increase.
Thank you very much, Kojo. Just as Raymond read out, those 4 factors, which are the exchange rate, the inflation, the cost of gas, and the generation mix, were those 4 factors that we considered in undertaking the review on a quarterly basis. So those 4 factors that we looked at, the gas prices moved marginally up by 5.23%. Exchange rate depreciated against the dollar by 20.8%. The generation mix between thermal and hydro remained the same, just as it was for the first quarter. So that we didn't touch at all. And then that for inflation also dropped from 28 to 24%. So those are the factors that we considered.
Right. I mean, over a very short period, electricity tariffs have increased by pretty much 100%. Is the desire to meet IMF conditionality still a big factor in these increments?
Well, before these IMF conditionalities came on board, we were doing the tariff adjustments on a quarterly basis. These quarterly tariff adjustments started way back in 2005 and not in 2024. So if it coincides with the World Bank conditionalities, that's fine. But this one was done way before the tariff before the IMF conditionality. So it has got nothing to do with IMF conditionalities. Secondly, if we do not do this, we have what we call under recovery or over recovery. The sector is under recovery. So if you don't do this, there's a likelihood that the tariffs might even go way through the roof the next time we want to do it. We don't want to see tariffs go up by about 20-40%. So in the wisdom of the commissioners, it is better to stagger it gradually than to have one big off tariff adjustment. So that's how come these tariffs are down on a quarterly basis.
Now, Ben, I mean, every quarter the price of utilities go up. Now we have been conditioned to expect it, but the quality of the product, the stability of the supply, the reliability, none of that is improving. At some point, should we expect PURC to insist on the rights of consumers even more than they protect the bottom line of the utility providers?
So the PURC does not only protect the bottom line of the providers, it also considers the welfare of
This is a question for Ben. We'll come to you on it as well, Dr. Obute, but I want to hear Ben on it first, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yes, thanks, Nico. I think, first off, it's good to see PURC trying to, apply itself to the rule, so that at least there can be some adjustment when the circumstances of the industry shift or the parameters that cost of generation, transmission, and distribution changes. So I think on that score, it is good, but we have to appreciate that even though the mandate has been over 2 decades or almost 2 decades, they were doing, patchy applications, weren't as rigorous as they are now, because now the headmaster is in town. I think that is a fact that we have to establish. So on that score, it is good. But if you look at these adjustments that are coming, it's really the business as usual, trying to keep the levels of inefficiency.
Hello?
Because even with these adjustments, we still have under recoveries, around 50%, sometimes even more. What that means is that the revenue requirement for the sector, we're able to collect only about 50% of that. And that has been a long-standing problem. It affects the quality of service, the generation capacity that we have, ability to, buy fuel to generate, ability to pay the transmission company to be able to invest in its infrastructure. That problem hasn't been reduced by an inch as we speak. And for me, is the bigger picture that you want to see PURC gravitate towards to see how we address the challenges of the sector as a regulator, not just assuming that all things are equal and just periodically. But we need to really address the problem, sanction people who are not delivering on their mandate for us to be able to collect the revenues and invest. Otherwise, the problems will be shifting from one space to the other. As we speak, we have current generation problems. We are not generating to be able to meet demand. But the scary part is that because Gridco is also not getting enough to invest in the transmission system, we are increasingly seeing overload in most of the substations and installations that they have, because demand is growing. And as demand grows, the pressure in various vicinities and localities then deepens. So that could also escalate into another problem, which will require investment in a bulk fashion that we may not have to be able to address the problem. So we need to have the regulators look at the efficiency side of things so that we holistically address the energy sector problems. You are throwing in money and you expect money to come, and the money is not coming. We keep keeping the problem as it is, hoping that it resolve itself. We're not doing a good service to the people of Ghana and to the energy sector in general. And I'm just realizing that if you do the math, this adjustment will not address the core problem, but it's just to make sure that it doesn't escalate. But we'll be keeping this under recoveries, this level of recovery for the past 3 years, which for me is quite scary. Accumulating 50% of the revenue requirements at debt on our books every month.
By this analysis, would you say that this recent increase is justified?
So that, like I'm saying, if you don't want to deepen the problem, it is. But when you look at the data also, you're also worried when the inefficiencies, the inability to control theft and economic losses are there. Then you wonder what effect you actually have. Because anytime they do the adjustment, you have more people slipping off the regulatory regime into an illicit operations where people are just stealing the power. And because of the inefficient, utility they have, they're unable to address that. So it is only a hope that as you increase the tariff, you will not get more people slipping because of their inability to pay. But that has been the reality. So you could expect that if you don't tighten controls at the distribution end, then people who cannot pay then begin to steal the power. And that has been the problem over the years.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a bit about these technical and commercial losses, right? I mean, yeah, so they need to cover the cost of production, so they increase tariffs. But the fact is that we all pay. We all pay for power. I pay, you pay. Why are losses such, creating such a black hole in the center of this thing? For which reason, no matter how much we pay, we still have to pay more.
Yeah, so the technical and commercial losses at the distribution end, which is hovering around 29-30%. So what that means is that before you and I even pay for the electricity, 30% is lost. We can account for it. So just assume for a second that you have 2 billion Ghana cedis to be collected, close to 2 billion to be collected every month, and you lose 30% of that before you even start selling the power. Essentially, you can account for 600 million, and that is significant. We are not giving. I'm not sure there's any ministry apart from education that gets that much money, a year. So we're just waiting every month because somebody is not doing their people are not doing their job to be able to close the loop and ensure that reduce the inefficiency and be able to collect money, and meet the requirements. So over time, what you see happening is that we are now prioritizing those who can be hard on the system, the IPPs who have binding contracts with government. They will get the money, but the state institutions like GRECO and VRA, they don't get money because they say go to finance ministry to go take your money. And we also know that the government itself is broke and it cannot pay anybody. So they are not getting the money they need to be able to invest. We are lucky that VRA is mainly hydro dependent. We hydro dependent. So for them, the operational cost, yes, you can get some money for them to run or some power they can use to maintain, the staff and the rest of it. But they can't do any investment when they are not getting paid. So it appears we have gotten so relaxed because some of them are state companies. So if they are inefficient, we can just pile the debt in the books and maybe write it off at some point because they're state institutions. But beyond that, also the IPPs we are paying, we're still accumulating some significant amount of debt in our books, which eventually they have to find money to pay. So I think for me, somebody has to call the shots and make sure that the system is fair. And that way you are able to optimize it and ensure that it's not just recurrent, tariff adjustment to keep the above collection, but you can also bring in more revenue. I mean, for example, if you look at the cash waterfall benchmark of about 1 billion that should be collected, how do you see a revenue requirement of 1.9 to 2 billion and you decide to set a benchmark of 1 billion for ECG to meet? You're only endorsing the inefficiency in the sector. Right? So we need to really up our game and get people to be responsible and deliver value. Because we have sacrificed everything we have as a country to get the right on. And that is huge pretend. We need to walk away from and ensure that we optimize the energy sector to deliver value.
Dr. Obute, I have a question here from a listener. She says, Kojo, do we not produce gas in Ghana? Why should PURC use that as an excuse to increase tariffs? Please educate me.
Well, thank you, Kojo. The gas that we produce in Ghana, we get gas from Jubilee, we get gas from TEN, we get gas from other sources as well. But we do get gas from Nigeria. So the gas price that we get is a blend of all these gases. Now, the gas that we get is not, we also buy the gas just as on international prices they will sell the gases. And the commodity price, we do not have any control over that. So the gas price that we get is the one that we use in running the tariffs. We do not determine the gas price. PURC does not determine that. It's not the LPG that gas that we run or we use in our homes, but this is the lean gas that we use to run thermal plants. So the long and short of that particular question is that we do not have control over that gas price, and we cannot use any other gas price apart from the one that we get from the producers.
Dr. Bute, I've got to ask you this while we have you. PURC fined the ECG board. Have they paid?
Well, the deadline for that was supposed to be May 30th. That's last week, Thursday. The board has not taken a decision on that, so I cannot speak on that particular issue as we speak now.
So they haven't paid?
Well, I'm not aware of anything like that until the board comes out with a particular position. I will not be able to speak to that particular issue now.
Now, we were also told that Dumso has been resolved. From where you sit, has the problem been permanently dealt with?
Well, I do not want to veer into areas. For now, if we can focus on the tariff issues, that will be fine, because these are board issues which are being handled at the board level. So I do not have the authority to speak to those particular issues as we are talking now.
So to be
if
clear,
I'm giving the permission to speak on them, I will go ahead and speak on them.
So to be clear, whether or not Dumso has ended is a matter to be decided by the PURC board.
Yes, I cannot determine that one.
Okay, all right. Ben, I mean, you monitor the sector. What's your take on it? The one tanker came in. Is there more? I mean, are we okay for fuel, or will the lights go off again?
But the load has been, the initial load, it's not as significant as it used to, because they had some liquids to bring some of the plants on. We also have good weather, which has reduced the heat a little bit, and therefore air conditioning has reduced its load. So it's not as grave as it used to be, but you still have an average of 300 to 250 to 300 megawatts of load being shared on a daily basis. So as for the load sharing, we are still in. But it appears ECG has now taken up the responsibility to do the distribution and load management. So they no control the distribution and load management now, which is better than it used to, except that you and I have not been informed that is happening.
Interesting. Okay, well, I think it's a good place to end our conversation. I want to say a big thank you to both of you. Benjamin Boakye, of course, Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, and Dr. Eric Obute joined us from PURC, where he's the Director of Research and Corporate Affairs. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Let's take a break, shall we? Yes, more when we come back.
Let me tell you about My King. Always looking out for the family and making sure we have the protection we need.
Mine has been caring for our family from generation to generation.
Let me tell you, mine makes sure I smile always.
Mine makes sure we save money.
Abba, these women are at it again. Is it your husband you are speaking so highly of?
Oh no, we are talking about the new Pepsodent 200 grams.
It's the Pepsodent Kokroko promo. This is the Pepsodent 175 grams you have always loved. Now with an additional 25 grams free for cavity protection and 10 times stronger teeth for your entire family. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Usually, we get special treatment only on our birthday. But imagine getting a special package every single day. That's what AT's Daily Deals gives you. You get unique voice and data deals exclusive to you. What's even better is it's affordable, reliable, and available. Start experiencing AT's Daily Deals. Dial *533# today and every single day. When you do, you'll unlock exclusive data and voice packages valid for 24 hours. Come on, people, jump on the AT Daily Deals train. When you're with dealer now. Dial *533# now and access awesome data and voice deals only from AT. Life is simple.
Dive into a new era of news consumption with myjoyonline.com, your go-to destination for cutting-edge journalism, giving you the most credible stories from business to politics and from sports to entertainment. Myjoyonline.com introduces an upgraded news website meticulously designed to empower you with an enriched browsing experience like never before. Experience the future of news browsing with myjoyonline.com.
Keep quiet, keep quiet. A moment of silence for my baby. Don't talk, let me.
Won and who didn't win and all of that, but also how the event itself went, and how social media handled it. And one of the people who was certainly trending over the weekend joins us right now, our very own Nathaniel Atto, who was resplendent in red, looking velvety, and somebody was suggesting that his fashion bill is higher than his interior design bill.
How much does this person know about me?
Yes, they said there's a sofa somewhere that is completely naked because Nathaniel's outfit had to be made.
There's a part I didn't understand. I mean, Celebrantia said Nathaniel Atto is the Scarlet Pimp and he's with the Shogun of Accra.
Well,
did he mean Scarlet Pimpernel? As in, it's the Scarlet.
Yeah, I understand.
No character from literature.
Oh, right. Okay, maybe perhaps yes. And
Scarlet Pimp is an annual show.
No, Shogun or Shogun. Is it? There's a Shogun. Yeah. Yes. It says the Shogun of Accra. Big mountains.
Yes. Well, I mean, what do we say when the TGMAs, as it's known now, comes up? A lot of conversations come up, and there are loads of people who also don't regularly have a voice, but feel that they have the TGMAs to look at in terms of feedback and everything. It all adds to it. My only thing is, don't insult and don't shade unnecessarily, because
we will shade you necessarily.
No problems. No problems. The work we do is feedback based. We've been doing this for 2 decades. So I mean, hey, any time, any day, shading
it's better to be talked about, right, than to be forgotten. Besides, there was so much else going on.
Very well.
Very interesting night. Strange start to it. With the performances, you were there. I mean, give us your take.
Well, look, one of the things I really wish would happen is that events organizers in general will start towing the uncleable white line. I'm drawn back to the late Alhaji Aliu Mahama. May God bless his soul. Alhaji Aliu Mahama started a conversation about greater discipline, within which we had the element of time. And we all, I mean, around this table, we all have exposure. We've been to loads and loads of events outside of this country. We look at the things that are done with others, and we want to come and replicate. But there is always a certain challenge, and it's my prayer or my hope that these challenges can be overcome so that we can kill this whole thing with time and the inability to start on time. I do know that our friends at Charterhouse always try, and the fact that we're talking about these things doesn't mean that anybody wants to criticize unnecessarily, but at the end of the day, our good friends at Charterhouse have put up a product that goes beyond just the shores of Ghana. At a certain point in our history, I don't boast of knowing what the statistics are now, but at a certain time in our history, it was the most talked about Ghanaian event, or the most talked about Ghanaian element within the conversation in Africa, without a doubt, because you had blogs, you had platforms, you had media outlets in different parts of the African continent talk about this music awards event.
It's worth mentioning, Nathaniel. I mean, I don't know if you recall, some years ago, perhaps it was 2016, I don't remember, 2016 or 2017, when this DSTV channel was carrying VGMAs live. I think it was Trace or one of the other music channels was carrying it live. For that year, they started on time. So it's quite obvious that it's not impossible. We can do it. We just don't bother.
We can do it. And you see, and like I say, look, we just need to get to that point where we say, something, let's get this thing going. I'll give you a quick example before we go on, unrelated but related. I hosted Sonny Badu's Rhythms of Africa concert. It was returning to the Ghanaian space after 10 years. What happened? We started 3 hours late. You know why? Because the venue had been given out to another entity, which is GIPC, for their anniversary dinner dance, their dinner event. The same venue had been given out. And within the space of 24 hours, this elaborate the elaborate set that was created for the GIPC event had to be taken down. And I even like to give George Quay the biggest plaudits because he put that event together, that he was able to take everything off and do this. And had it not been for the goodwill that Sonny Badu had, we couldn't have started. We could have probably even started maybe and had all the the patrons go out. What are we talking about? Kojo Youngson has raised a very important point. Let us get there to that stage where we can all say, you know something, we're going to start irrespective. And Uncle Ebo White has been successful with it. I know that there are massive challenges with artists and their, and we need to start pushing people. We've had challenges with our artists and their managers and how they don't turn up on time. And here at Joy FM, I mean, we've had major franchises in the industry, and we know how these things go. We've put together the Night with the Stars. We've had major events like that, and we know how these things go sometimes. So it's just taking that decision and moving it forward. This is us. The TGMAs is for us. It's our property as Ghanaian people, and it is in our interest that we all come together and push it so that it is there and it's put up as one of the major attractions to Ghana. I mean, the major attractions from the rest of the world to Ghana.
Yeah, and Nathaniel, you hosted it in 2015, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Well, somebody who is always on stage for the TGMAs, no matter what, is, of course, the legendary, award-winning DJ Black.
Nana Odifufua Ibinka the first.
Hallelujah.
The one and only.
The ones.
Yeah. And look, Kojo, I think we also need to use this opportunity to salute Black. Black has been there. Black has never gone still on that stage. Black has been consistent, and that for me is a big point of pride.
I won't lie. It's part of the attraction for me. I look out for how Black is going to run things from the back, and it's always a pleasure. Black, once again, another night executed, but it started a bit shaky. What was the situation with the band and the music and the performances at the beginning? Why were things a bit wonky?
Well, I can't really answer that, but all I can say, just like any other show, there are issues, and how you deal with a challenge and make it better as soon as you can. That makes it gives you that credence and makes it a good show. Yeah.
Were you feeling the sense of controversy around the who was winning what as the night was unfolding?
Yes, you could tell. I mean, there were times when you get chants from the crowds of different names, fan bases screaming out there, and this is to come. That's what makes it all exciting, in my opinion. Yeah.
But another thing. I mean, the two of you have seen behind the curtain. You understand what goes into some of these choices and decisions. It's not all about the public's vote or whatever. Sometimes it's a bit of a technical situation. So for those who say, "Look, this was Promise's year," from what you see from behind the curtain, what would you say to them?
Well, I mean, I think just like any award scheme, before it starts, it's categorically stated you have to vote. And it's stated, all throughout, vote, make sure you vote for your favorite. So it's quite obvious. Of course, there are the industry experts at the back, which I may be corrected, they form some percentage of the total thing. Yeah. But the public voting forms the majority. So, of course, if you have your favorite there and you really want to make it that, you keep on voting and voting and voting like crazy. Yeah.
Look, we need to put the issues in perspective. As an MC, I've introduced Stoneboy on stage. I've introduced, King Promise on stage, and I even started a campaign here on my show on the Joy Sports Link 2 Saturdays ago, for us to start pushing for King Promise to perform at the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. Why? Because he had done a song which I believe very strongly is very well aligned with the whole Paris, welcoming the whole world to them. Let's put that aside. There's this narrative that you hear about analysts and people within the teams and all of that, especially when they are disappointed. And you get to hear this rather unfortunate line where people try to discredit the other party. I think that we should start looking at the sportsmanship element of this thing. I know that people in our very informal parlance say we take it personal, or you're fan of World Cup. That's what we say in our very informal parlance. Now, take nothing away from Stoneboy. Stoneboy has broken his back and has worked worked the path to this point. King Promise has also done his bit in a very, very unique way. I had a conversation with King Promise about 2 weekends ago, and at the time he had just returned from Asia. Take this away and put it into the football terms, in terms of numbers, because music is also a very big numbers game. Manchester United have one of their biggest markets in Asia. And to note that King Promise, based on his performances and how he's pushed over the last year, has been able to break into that market in itself is big credit. But you go to Stonebwoy as well. You look at the quality of the music, the quality of engineering of the music, the stages he has performed on, the kinds of collaborations that he's had on that album, and his airplay, and the kinds of platforms that he's either created or featured on. I always like to refer to the show that was done, at the Accra Stadium last December. At the early stage, when there was an issue with dates, and there was a tussle with the shutter movement and all of that about the date, it hit a note of controversy. But when Stonebwoy landed that date and confirmed it to do that show at Accra Sports Stadium, it was worth it. Because guess what? I was there, I was on the stage, and what I saw was a big standard which everybody has to follow. I do not believe that in your and my era, Kojo, we have seen, maybe the last time we saw a single artist do anything as big as this was probably when Shabaranks came to Ghana in 1992.
Hey, that big?
Yes, my brother. Yes, my brother. Anytime we see any major entertainment event at the Accra Stadium, it's ICGC. ICGC does a religious event and they bring everybody together. Or the political parties try to do their Thanksgiving services and their rallies. But look, what Stonebwoy put up there was of international standard. It brought people together, and it sold him in a completely different way. So for me, yes, some people are disappointed. And look, big salutes to King Promise. It could have gone either way. But like DJ Black has said,
these things are to be expected, and it happens everywhere.
Exactly.
The Grammys, the BET Awards, it is just like that. You have disgruntled fans, you have fans who wish this person had won, and it's all part of entertainment. You understand? It doesn't take anything away from you. I think that once you've been nominated, it means that you are already a winner, and it pushes you in that light. So kudos to all the winners. It was a night for Stonebwoy. King Promise also did his bit, and I think that it serves as encouragement to each and every one of us that we can get there and we can do more. So let us, hold each other's hands and support every Ghanaian who's doing it.
And the final thing to add to what DJ Black has said, it's about the voting for the public. So if you know that you are part of, the movement, then you make sure that you push your artists with as many resources as possible. Team BIM were able to do it, and this is where they find themselves.
I'll ask a question about fandom in a moment when it comes to Ghanaian musicians and their fans. I'll ask a question about that from the two of you in a moment. But first, let me remind you that accessing super reliable healthcare should be the topmost priority for you and your family. That's why Muti Plus, powered by MTN, is giving you just that today. For a subscription fee of just 25 cedis a month, paid on Momo, you can sign on to a health subscription plan that gets you access to unlimited in-store consultations with qualified healthcare professionals and over 160 covered medications and tests at participating pharmacies in the Ablekuma, Sakaman, Dansuman, Mamprobi and Kasoa townships. Best part of it is that there is a dedicated nurse at the Muti pharmacy who can teleconference a doctor when needed, so that you can access the best consultation services. And to get this great product, all you have to do is download the Ayoba app and sign up today with your Momo account. So you download Ayoba, then you sign up with your Momo account. Take charge of your health conveniently and affordably. Sign up for Muti Plus, powered by MTN today.
Now you can enjoy Consolidated Shipping Agencies Limited for the upcoming mining and power exhibition at the Grand Arena here in Accra. It's happening at the Accra International Conference Center from June 5th to 7th. That's this week. Visit booths H1 and H2 to meet Consolidated Shipping Agencies Limited. That's Conship and Eco Alpha Solutions Limited. Come, let's network to take our business relationship to the next level. See you there. Follow us on social media at Conship_. That's on Instagram, on Facebook at Conship, and Consolidated Shipping Agencies at LinkedIn. And when it comes to X, it's at ConshipGH for more updates. Conship, succeeding together with passion.
All right. Well, don't forget to go to kingdomstoreonline.com. Get yourself the best quality office essentials, equipment, furniture, and stationery from Kingdom Books. You can pay via Momo across all networks, and you get free delivery if you're in Accra or Tema. Terms and conditions apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks. Okay, let's wrap this conversation up. And look, because you talked about the need for everybody who loves the music to vote, do you find, I'll ask Black first, Ghanaian music fans, we're not like fans of music in other parts of the world who go crazy for the artists they love, who show up for them, who go on social media and fight arguments and, and spend money voting or, buying tickets. We tend to be a bit nonchalant, even though we love the music. I'm a big Promise fan. I'm a big Stone Boy fan. But, will I vote?
I think we're getting there, and you can see it now. We never had the existence of teams and nations and followers and family and all that. But now it's everywhere. Apart from the big names, you have other mini movements going along, and it all shows that we're getting into that direction, like we say in Kakankakra.
Black hit the nail right there on the head. I believe that we're evolving as an industry in terms of those at the end of production and those at the end of receiving it or consuming it. And so another thing as well that we need to consider is the effect of people, their mindsets, and how the economy is treating them.
Cultural background.
Exactly, and how they can make use of resources, or they can channel resources to entertaining themselves or consuming what is produced by our musicians. And so I believe that once things are smoothened up in terms of the economy, how things are going, how people can easily make use of disposable income and all of that, then the idea of consuming music, consuming it in certain environments, appreciating it, and also going out to push whatever it is around that content is something that will happen with time. So I believe that is just work in progress.
Yeah, what he's trying to say is that when a man's belly is full, then he has time for music and entertainment.
We have bigger problems to solve first, right?
Exactly.
Okay, listen, guys, before you leave, quick prediction, if you like. Look into the crystal ball. Which of our artists is going to have a big year this year?
It could be anybody. One of the things that, you may agree or disagree with me is that the big names are still working effort, really, really hard to maintain it there. So, yes, I still see the big names out there, but there are a few promising new ones out there. We saw Olive the Boy, really, really shaking a lot of fans at King Paluta, what I mean. So yes, there are big names out there, and we can only encourage them to work harder to emulate what those who've set international standards have done, and to cross over that. Now the world is small. It's global. Just by picking up your phone, you can hear songs that are trending in Philippines and in South Korea, and just like you indicated, King Promise just went to Asia. So yes, we need to work hard. We need to understand that now the barriers are broken. You can travel to any part of the world without flying.
Well, so it's a whole operation. That's what I'll say. It's a whole operation. If you want to be out there, you need to reach out. You need to have professionals around you, and you need to hit the right spots so that you can get your music out there.
You need to treat it as a business.
You have to treat it as a business. We've gone past the stage where spouses and good friends and old friends come in. People who have the know-how of how the industry works globally are the ones. So that then we see how things are going to go. There are also musicians who silently are making the numbers on streams and all of that. You can talk about someone like Amare. Unfortunately, Amare couldn't perform, on the stage. And I believe that on Saturday these conversations will be expanded. But like I said, let's start it from here. And Kim Promise must know something. This is what I'm going to wrap up with. Many years ago, I was having a personal conversation with, Stone Boy, and he was telling me, Charlie, big bro, somebody. It was along the line. It was along the lines of discrimination. Somebody had discriminated against him on certain grounds, and I said to him, Charlie, relax, take it easy. One day, someone will favor you or would mention your name somewhere positively and do you a favor because of your name, where you come from, or how you perform your music. So take it easy. It's like, oh, Charlie Big Bro, you talk matter, and you see things are working in their space as well. In the same way, to King Promise and the rest of the team, King Promise is my guy. Look, this is only a sign of great things to come. And like I said, let us continue the campaign that I started on the Joy Sports link. King Promise for the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games in Paris, because that song is amazing.
Yeah, Ghana should get behind that campaign. All right, thank you guys. DJ Black and Nathaniel Atto there giving us a bit of a flavor of what happened over the weekend at the TGMAs.